When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new gods for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish their right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together a legislative body that places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly, for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time, after such dissolutions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative power, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of land. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amounts and payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us, in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has effected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rules into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the work of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy, scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas, to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections among us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an indistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation, and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of a right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Love that. Absolutely love that. My camera's not working right now, so hold on. Let me get out of here and come right back. 1 second. Hold on. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the Declaration of Independence, written by a very great man, a guy that I've studied a lot. That's Thomas Jefferson. And a man that I've also studied a lot was John F. Kennedy Jr. He's the one that read that. And again, that's where the words CT started, if you know what I mean. And a lot of things happened during those times, his time and the other time in the 60s, 1960s, and the 1770s. And we have a time now that we're dealing with, and we're going to search for the truth. We're going to separate good versus evil, and lies will be exposed, and the truth will come out. And that's what we're doing here today. And I really, really appreciate you guys being here. There's a lot of news going on we're going to talk about. And again, we're going to fight against the evil people that run the money printer, run the world, and spread this propaganda. And we're going to make sure we win this war. And again, I could not ask to be with a better group of people, again, than my Bitcoiners for Freedom group, gold and silver stackers, living in the future group, freedom lovers, and God-fearing people. And again, we are all Satoshi and we are all Charlie. What is up, guys? It is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. September 23rd. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 916,096. TikTok next block. It's good to see you guys. Let's do a roll call here and see who's all here. My grandson's in there watching Spider-Man, and he is going crazy. Kramer, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. How are we doing? Hey, yo, my fellow broken mute switches. What's on the docket for today? Yes. Was my thing on mute? Good to see you, Kramer. I got you on the wheel. Hey, Jerry, happy Taco Tuesday. Yes. Yes, it is. Greg Philly, how are you? Solar Satoshis, welcome back, man. I appreciate you, brother. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much. Rudy Gamer. Hello, Rudy. How are you, man? Good to have you back. I got you on the wheel. Good morning, brother Jerry. Good morning, Rizna. Good to see you, ma'am. How are you? Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Emily, the beautiful one. How are you, Emily? Very good to see you, ma'am. Hi, Emily. What's up, Greg? Greg, another day, another sat. That's right. Rizna, Rudy, Solar, Kramer. Hey, folks. Yes. How are you today, Jerry? I'm good. I had some stomach issues, but I'm okay. Emily, thank you. How are you? And thank you for asking. Sonny Verma's in the house. Sonny, what's up, bro? How you been, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. Let's see. Somebody's just texting me about silver. The family man. How are you, brother? Very good to see you, Sonny. Everything good? Hi, Sonny. Hey, peeps. BTC Bug. What's up, my man? My man, Bug. He's back. Good to see you. Hi, Bug, Sonny. Hi, folks. Commercial break. How are you, sir? Somebody's happy to see you. We know that. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate you. BTC Bug, CB. No, Jerry. I just meant is as we won't be quiet. We won't shut up. Okay, got you. Because I was having some technical difficulties. So I was like, uh-oh, am I okay? Magic Moolah, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. How are you? I got some Magic Moolah I'm giving out today. You may win some today if you want it. I don't think you ever take it, though. Good to see you, Magic. Greg, true that, Kramer. Spread the orange gospel. That's right. Hi, Moolah. Yeah, so we're going to spin the wheel at 15 minutes after. I'm going to try to do it as early as I can. It's obviously depending on the how many comments I have, and we're pretty much done now. So I'm going to try to spin the wheel a little quicker so we can get to the news. I've been fasting today, but I do have a nana here. Let me get a towel. Hold on. With some honey, and I got some water with me, so having some stomach issues, but we're all good. My miner just hit its 1 billionth guest sent to the network. Astronomically cool. Holy crap, that is cool, man. Congratulations on that, bro. That's a lot. That's cool, Solar. Congrats. That's very cool, man. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Grasshopper. How are you, ma'am? The lovely Grasshopper. Beautiful smile that woman has. That young lady has. I mean that with all due respect, Grasshopper. Good to see you, ma'am. Your smile lights up the my screen every time I see it. How's the hubby? How's the kids? How are you? Hi, Grasshopper. I'm fasting too. Just hit 24 hours. Nice, man. Nice, bro. It's not easy, especially for a guy like me. Very cool, Solar Satoshis. Coolness, Solar. Grasshopper. Hello, Greg. Grasshopper. Hello. Yes. And as we can see here, Bitcoin is on a little dip, guys. 892 Satoshis for $1. That's the most important thing, guys. Look at this in dollar terms. You know what I mean? Thank you, Jerry. We are good. Got to start making dinner soon, though. Okay, just keep it on, and if you win, I'll just give you the stats. Okay, and try to have me on in the background if you want to, but just let me know right before you go, and then I'll keep you on the wheel, and then when you spin, I'll just give it to you. Okay. How's your little adorable fur baby, Grasshopper? Yeah, Bitcoin is a wonderful thing, man. I just love it because it's truth. You know what I mean? And I know we've been getting away from Bitcoin a little bit because of the Charlie Kirk public execution, because that's what it was. we're gonna start getting back to Bitcoin. I'm feeling a little better. I didn't want to talk about Bitcoin as much at the time, but I'm starting to get back into a groove. But we are going to be talking about other things, as you can see from the title. Trump went off on the UN today, and YouTube lifts bans on creators, which is crazy. Because I was told that, and we'll get into that later, but I was told that MAGA was fascist. But to come to find out that the other administration were fascist because they were being told by the other administration to ban certain people on YouTube. Anybody surprised by that, by the way? We'll get into that later. But there it is, man, 112,200. Why is the price going down? I'm not sure. But I'm loving it. Got a bright light here, guys. And we have where are we at here? We dropped, like I said, down to 8th place in the market cap. As you can see here, we're at 2.24 trillion in total market cap. But overall, we're still in the top 10. So that's not bad. Gold is just absolutely killing it, man. I mean, gold is killing it. Gold right now, again, is almost $3,800 per ounce, which is crazy. Let me see what they've been doing the last 5 years. Yeah. So this is, right around the all-time high, which is good for us. You know what I mean? Hey, Emily, he's had an issue with his ears, but it's clearing up. Little stinker as always, all the way. Oh, my goodness. Sorry to hear that, Grasshopper. Let's ask the Bitcoin CEO for insider information, right? I would love to get that insider information. But this is the gold chart, guys, and gold is doing very well. And I like it when gold is doing very well. Again, gold and silver stackers, and I'm going to say this a lot, are our friends. You know what I mean? And silver, again, $44 an ounce, which again, not to hate, but silver to me, in my personal opinion, should be 200 an ounce at the minimum. You know what I mean? So that's just where I'm at on it. Oh, glad he's better, Grasshopper. Yeah, me too, Grasshopper. But that's where it is. You know what I mean? And people are starting to recognize hard money, which is good. And right now, the fear and greed index for Bitcoin is at 43, which is a good thing, guys. Okay. Hey, guys, how's everyone doing today? Spaceman, what's up, my boy? Let me put you on the wheel. How are you, sir? He's back. Very good to see you. We're going to spin the wheel here in a few minutes, about 5-6 minutes. And we're going to get on into the news stories for today. And it's good to see you, Spaceman. Hey, Spaceman. Yeah. But, the fear and greed index is always good. When it's in this area, this is one I like to smash by. You know what I mean? So this is good. I absolutely love that. More over here is better. But yesterday we were at 45, and today we're at 43. And that's good. The lower the number is, guys, the better for us. Because down in here, that means the price is lower. And because this is the fear part in the red. And then the green, yellow, green, green, green is the greed. And the more people that are greedy, the price goes up. And this way it goes down. And I like that. I'm getting more sats per dollar. You're getting more sats per dollar. And that's a good thing, man. Don't let the smooth taste fool you of it going down, because again, guys, we're in the Bitcoin gold rush, which I'll get into in a minute. Finger Pig, what's up, my boy? How are you? Somebody's happy to see you, man. I think we know who that is. Very good to see you, Finger Pig. How are you, man? I definitely paid your sats last night, so you should be good, man. But yeah, the fear and greed index is doing that, which is, it's okay. And like I said, there's not much Bitcoin going around as much as it used to. This right here is the BTC map. This shows you where all the people around the world, where they're buying Bitcoin at, or where you can purchase things with Bitcoin. And it's growing, growing, growing every single day. And I like to see that. I really do. And again, the Bitcoin distribution chart right here will show you that as plebs, we got to keep this number as high as we can, right? We got to have as many people buying Bitcoin as individuals as we can. And if you have to sell your Bitcoin, guys, don't sell it to the powers that be. Don't sell it to the the Black Rocks and all that. You can join my group, my Bitcoiners for Freedom group, which is a good group. And if you want to sell your Bitcoin to individuals, this is a good group to join. And if you want to do that, the price to do that is $4.99 a month if you want to join the Signal group, like I just showed you. And I highly suggest you join that, man. If you want to get involved with some people that really know about freedom and Bitcoin and God fearing and everything else in a private setting, not a Twitter or Nostr. Nostr's good too. I like Nostr. But this is a private chat group. I highly suggest if you have your Bitcoin questions or something like that, please consider joining the Bitcoiners for Freedom team. Please and thank you. I think you will not be regretful of that. But again, the distribution here is pretty high as far as human beings, individuals have it, and we need to keep this number as high. We have more than 50% of the Bitcoin or the Satoshis owned by plebs, which is good. And again, we're getting closer and closer, guys, to the 95% range of people that own Bitcoin. I mean, the people that, Bitcoin that's mined percentage issued. We're at 94.88% of all Bitcoin being mined, which is a good thing. It's getting closer and closer to 95. I think it'll be in November when 95% of the Bitcoin is mined. And when you look at, again, what's your percentage of what you need of Bitcoin, it's pretty low, man. We got 21 people in here, guys. You only need to get your fair share 244,631 Satoshis. Which in today's money, let's see, today's dollars, it's about 100 and Bitcoin's 112,000. It's about $274 to get your fair share today. And again, out of 8.1 and a half, almost billion people, 19.9, a little bit over 19.9 million Bitcoin have been mined. Again, if you get yourself 244,000 Satoshis, you'll get way more than you need. But if you get to 1 million Satoshis, guys, you are absolutely cooking with fish grease. You really are, man. Hey, look at Maddie. I'm a little behind, but talked about silver. Someone called my job, asked how much we sell silver for by the ounce. I was like, this is a doctor's office. I thought you were at work, Maddie. What in the world are you doing? Good to see you, Maddie. Somebody just sent me sending 153 sats. Hey, look at Elise, my goddaughter. How are you, Elise? Good to see you. I'm gonna put you on the wheel, Elise, if you're staying. Elise, are you gonna stay or no? Good to see you, Maddie. Put you right here. And I'll put Coco here. Are you at work, Maddie? That's surprising. Hi, beautiful Maddie. Jerry, we back. LOL Cabron. What's up, bro? Good to see you. LOL Cabron. I'm on a little 15. Oh, okay. So I'll take you off, and then when you want to come back in, I'll put you in, Maddie. Unless you want me to keep you on the wheel. Are you going to be watching or no? Hi, Ems. Hey there, Elise. Yes. Okay, Elise. I know that's right. All right, Elise. I know you got a Bitcoin wallet. I don't know if you still got your Bitcoin, though. I'm working, but thankfully got my own office. Nice, man. Love to hear that. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Yesterday was crazy. Yes, it was, bro. Yes, it was. How are you doing, Angel? Number one Jerry fan? Good to see you, man. Young man. You got some homework to do? Or what? Maddie should have told him $35 and go around and flip it for 40. Yes. Maddie, LOL, how did you get that? How did they get that confused? That's a good sign people are asking about silver. Yes, absolutely. Solar, Sharon B. Yes. Okay, we're going to spin the wheel, guys. Again, today is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. We're going to start with the Bitcoin block height of 0.96. And we're going to spin that first spin. And let's see who can win it for 100 Satoshis, guys. Good luck. Solar. Yeah, got homework, but it's okay. No doubt, man. No doubt. I'm dumping my wallet. 153 for your support. Oh, thank you. And 4 kisses from Sharon. Well, Sharon, you know where that's going. That's going in the bank. And someday somebody's gonna have to withdraw those. Hey, yo, congratulations. Congratulations. Yay, Solar. Because you know I gotta Sharon, you know I gotta come get those. Emily, yes. No, I still want to be on the wheel. Okay. So you're gonna be listening at work? Let's get some wins. Yes, Cryptomania guy. What's up, bro? Put Solar Satoshi. Satoshi. Okay, let's put Maddie on the wheel. Let's see where I put Maddie. I put Maddie here. Maddie, and then I'll put Coco there. And then Cryptomania guy. Is that where? Yep. Good to see you, brother. Mania guy. Good to see you, brother. Congrats, Solar. LOL, Greg. Congrats, Solar Satoshi. Hi, Sharon. But it's something, ain't that right, Sherry? Corey, what's up, my boy? My neighbor. How are you, Corey? Good to see you, man. Corey got sats. Corey got sats? Corey, when's your next video, man? Make sure you guys go subscribe to Corey, by the way. Please and thank you. Sharon B. Yeah. Okay. Dollar General. Boom. Hi, Ian. Into the Kiss Fall. Yes. 4 more. Sharon. Sharon, there is a Sharon, there's a lot of them in there. You got to. I don't need them all in one day though. But there's a lot of them in there, Sharon. That's my nana with honey. Hey, Corey. Remember, guys, every job is a Bitcoin job you save in sats. Absolutely. Hey, Jerry, what's going on? What's up, Neo? Neo the one. How you doing, my brother? 2, 4, 5, 5. Okay. Put you right here, Neil. Good to see you, man. Nothing, man. Just trying to catch up on the news, catch up on some Bitcoin news. We all get together, man. Congrats, Solar. Neo. Hey, Sharon. Neo the one. Hey, Neo. Hey, Rizna. Yes. Hey, Emzo. That's right. Let's see where we at with these blocks. Put this over here so it'll be closer. Okay, let's do we did 096. Let's do 097 and 098. Let's do it. Oh, hold on. 097. I'm gonna hook you guys up because you're here early. You know, I don't know if Backpacker's here. What's up, fam? VHF, what's up, my boy? How are you, brother? VHF. Good to see you, my boy. Hey, my sis Hopper. It's all about the Benjamins. That's right, Benjamin. Benjamin. What's up, sir? Jamin. I don't know if the Backpacker family's here. It's the first time. Not in one day. Okay, kiss. Another one. Sharon. Don't play with me. Hey, VHF. Hey, VHF. Hey, Emily. Congrats, Big Packer. Hi, Hopper. I am off today. I am happy. Good, good. I'm good, Jerry. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Congrats, Backpacker. I don't think he's here. Hey, brother, VHF. I don't think they're here yet. I always put them on because they're always here. Hey, 76 sats from somebody on speed. Thank you very much. Appreciate that very much. Oh, no. 1776. 17 and 76. Who did that? That's usually the Backpacker family. So thank you very much for that. VHF. Hi, Toxic Gamer. What's up, brother? How are you? Toxic Gamer. Good to see you, sir. Corey, boom. Nice, Risen. Happy is good. Yes. Greg, boom. A Stush in the house. Yes. Absolutely. Good to see you. Um, Stush. I'm about to do that over. It looks like the backpacker family's not here right now. Hi, Toxic Gamer. Thank you, Emily. No doubt. All right, this is very strange not to have the backpacker family here, but they should be in here later. So let me take them off the wheel from now, and then we'll spin it again. And then I have to add them back on. Got to be here to win, guys. No exceptions. Because I got to be fair to everybody. You know what I mean? Can't have any favoritisms. But I love you all. You guys know that. Oh, something happened on speed. Oh, wait a minute. I got 12. Okay, 12 sats just came in, 34, and then 1776. 1776. Thank you. Is somebody messing with me again? Hello, Jerry Freedom Fam. Drop a like at the door. That's right, Quinn. How are you? Lovely lady. Good to see you. Another beautiful lady. We got some beauties in our group, boy. Don't we? I ain't seen an ugly one yet. Good to see you. I had physics exam today. Hello, I'm still stacking. That's right. Hey, Jerry, how's it going? It's going good, Dean. How you doing, sir? My man, Dean. Anything else? Good morning. Good Wednesday morning. Hey, Quinn. Dean. Hello, Quinn, the winner. Good to see you. Dean. Let's run it. Wins coming up. Yes. Wins are definitely coming up. Amos. CBT. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Amos. Hello, Greg, Emily, Dean. Doing okay. How is everyone tonight? I'm doing great so far. Hey, Quinn, LMAO. Hello, beautiful. Yes, Quinn. Yeah. Let's see. Sharon on here. Sharon B. The lovely Sharon. All right. Let's spin that again because they're not here yet. Speed wallet. 11 sats. What in the hell is going on? Somebody sent me 11 sats. Huh. Very strange. Thank you very much. 11 sats. Oh, okay, Dean. Thank you, brother. That was you. Okay. Thank you so much, Dean. I really appreciate that, brother. Hey, Grasshopper. Hello, Sharon. Starting dinner now, so just listening, but I'm here. Okay, if you win, I got you. Dean, you the man. My sis Rizna, hello, and you as well. Yes, damn, we got 31 in here. Let's do 097. Let's see who can win that one. Dean, speaking of Dean. Thank you, Dean. Look at that. Dean gives and Dean gets right back. Congratulations, Dean. Thank you so much for your donation, brother. Dean wins 097. Let's see who can win 098. GOW, what's up, bro? Hello, people. Party people. What's up, brother? Commercial break. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 6. Let's get GOW in here. Emily, good game. Dean. Corey, hello. How have you been? Good game, Dean. There you give some, you get some. Exactly. GOW. GOW. Hey. There you go. Yes. Hello, Secura. What's up? Put you right here. Secura TBH, to be honest. Dean, woohoo, good game, CB. CB, good game, CB. Hello, Secura. Give those to Emily. I knew that was coming. I think that's part of the reason she's always happy to see you, sir. Okay. I'm getting a lot of weird numbers here from Speed. Thank you so much, whoever's messing with me. So after your 11, Dean, I got a 43, a 21, and a 67. Thank you so much. Whoever's doing that, I appreciate that. I got a funny feeling that's Jenny. Hello, GOW and Secura. It's either Jenny or Ian. Hi. Thank you very much, CB. Dean. Congrats. Yep. All right. 098 wins. All right. Let's do 099. See who wins that one. Blocks are coming in pretty fast, guys. Try to start the show at 4:30. Rudy. It's going good, Quinn the winner. CB, congratulations. Make sure you guys are caught up, too, to the stream. Please and thank you. Mm-mm-mm. I love bananas. I mean, nanas with honey. Can't say the other word. Yay. Congratulations, Rudy. Rudy Gamer. Good to hear, Corey. Good game, Rudy. Good game, Rudy. Thank you, guys. No doubt. Rudy, Jen, yes. That was 099. Let's see who can win 100, and then we'll get on into the show. What's another one comes out? Looks like Emily to me, and it is. Emily gets sats. We know that. Okay, now I got that just came in. I got 71 and 25 sats. Just came in on speed. And another 25. Thank you so much, Jenny. Or it's either Jenny or Ian. I know that. So if you're here, let me know so I can put you on the wheel. Congratulations, Rudy. Another 38 sats just came in. That's definitely Jenny. Rudy won, LOL. Good game, Emily. Never trust a skinny chef. That's right. Congratulations, Rudy. Way to go, Emily. Yay. Thank you, Jerry. No, thank you for being here, Emily. You draw all the men here. Pretty ladies, they love them. Another 25 sats just came in. I'm just going to keep this up. Thank you. 25, 38, 25. It's going to add up to something. Another 25 sats. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You can keep those coming. All right. Well, Matthew Cratter made a video today. Another 38 sats. Thank you. I don't know what these mean. I haven't been watching Matthew Cratter. I started Bitcoin Core's Buggy, 81 sats on speed. I haven't finished this one, but I want to watch this one. Adam Back running malware, because he's in charge of the Blockstream Jade. So I want to watch that video and see what he's got going on. Yay, Emily, congrats. And then now I got 69 sats that just came in. 81, then 69. Now 85 sats that just came in. They're just coming in back to back. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Seriously. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's not Jenny and Ian. Maybe it's somebody from Noster doing that. Anybody know who that is doing that? 9 sats. I just came in. No, 89. Oh, 9. Sorry. So without further ado, let's check out 1 sat. Okay. Without further ado, let's check out Matthew Cratter's video talking about Adam Back running malware.
This is Matthew Cratter's Bitcoin University. Today I want to answer the question, will Adam Back be running malware? And it's based on this post where he says, I'll be running Bitcoin version 30. There's really no such thing as Bitcoin version 30, but for the purposes of this video and for the context, I will be assuming here that he's running Bitcoin Core version 30. And if in fact he's planning to run Bitcoin NOTS version 30 instead, I would apologize and say just ignore this whole video. Well, so what makes Bitcoin Core 30 malware, in my opinion? Well, when you run it, you're helping to actively attack the Bitcoin network by relaying large blobs of contiguous non-monetary data. And that's an attack on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a monetary network. And this is something that Bitcoin Core devs from 2014 until recently were always trying to fight against non-monetary data or excessive amounts of arbitrary data. If you run Bitcoin Core 30 with the default settings, as I understand Adam's about to do, you will also be actively relaying large op-return transactions that contain CSAM and other unspeakable material, and also actively helping it to get mined by relaying it across the network. You'll also be holding CSAM in plain text in your very own home computer's RAM. How do I know? Because the exact same thing happened to BSV, which is a failed fork of Bitcoin. The exact same thing happened to BSV back in 2018, 2019, when they blew out the op-return filters from 80 bytes to 100,000 bytes, which is exactly what Bitcoin Core devs are proposing in the new version of Bitcoin Core 30. I'll put a link to this post about how BSV got immediately filled with CSAM after they made this change. Now, this sort of argument is something that Adam has been fighting against and doesn't like. He writes here, if someone goes berserk pushing establishment dangerous four horseman arguments at Bitcoin itself, that's a major red flag. For me, they lost trust and reputation by showing they're willing to endanger Bitcoin over local config choices that peacefully coexist and have for a decade. My response to that would be, look, I'm not the one pushing for changes to mempool defaults that have peacefully existed for over a decade. That's Bitcoin Core and its supporters. I got it back. The major red flag is always the person who's pushing to change Bitcoin, not the people who are trying to protect Bitcoin by gaming out what could go wrong from these changes. And it's very clear that these changes are what could cause something to go terribly wrong, as they did with BSV. So I made a video a couple of weeks ago asking this question, will Blockstream filter out CSAM? It looks like now we have our answer. Basic alignment of interest would suggest, if I'm right, that Adam Back, if he's running Bitcoin.
I agree with you, VHF. This is why he's going so hard on it. First of all, I'm getting a whole bunch of random sats coming in. 9, 9, 55, 38, 7, 42, 25, 42, 1. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But VHS says, I'm not worried about Core. Another 7 that just came in. Will not allow CSM on the Bitcoin blockchain. I'm confident. I'm not worried about Core. Oh, validators will not allow. Oh, no, I don't agree with that at all, VHF. 0%. I agree with that. They can't stop it, VHF. If you download the version 30, they can't stop it. VHF, I didn't see you. Hello, my friend. Couple 7s. 6, 59 that just came in. 18 that just came in. Thank you very much.
Bitcoin Core 30 for himself, that Blockstream, the company he controls and runs, will also be running the same node software. If Blockstream won't be upgrading to Bitcoin Core 30.
So fun to mess with our guy. Jor, what's up? Jor, don't tell me that's you. Okay, I can only take credit for the 25s and 38s. Well, thank you, Jor, so much. 13, 81, 95, 9 just came in. Thank you, Jor. I appreciate you, bro. Very kind of you, man. Let me put you, my boy, on the wheel. My boy Jor for the score. How you doing, Jor? Good to see you. Put Jor on here and then Arnie boy right here. Thanks for coming in, Jor. See, I'm getting my Bitcoin in, Jor. See that? Jor isn't here, she says. Good day, everyone. Wave. You don't think if validators will force Core to hard fork? No. You don't need to hard fork. It's not a hard fork issue. I don't think. I just think people just start going to the validators. I think the node runners they'll just disengage with Core 30 and then they'll just go over to knots. I'm the 42s. LOL. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Thank you, Solar. Jor is definitely here. Yes. The boys are good here. Good. Yes. Jor, boom. Jor, yes. VHF, I just think you like to start stuff up. I think you just say stuff sometimes, which is okay, But I completely disagree with that, sir. Good day, Pepe. Oh, Sean, what's up, bro? Sean, Pepe Le Pew. How are you, man? Put you on the wheel, sir. 9 sats. Hey, guys, if you want to send your favorite number in on speed over and over and over again, hey, I'm not mad at you at all for that. And mess with me, I'm good. Another 9 came in. 8, 9. So, hey, pick a number. I really appreciate that. Really helps, seriously. Hello, Jor and Sean. Agree to disagree, I guess. Yeah. It's okay, VHF. I know what you're here for, brother. And I love you for it, man. I love the banter back and forth.
It'd be great to hear from them soon and learn why they've decided not to upgrade or why they're running.
Somebody just sent in 420 sats. It's 420 somewhere. Thank you, brother. And then 5 and then 9. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that.
Bitcoin knots instead. But if Blockstream ends up running Core 30, as appears likely from these posts, I think it's a good idea not to connect your personal wallet to any of their nodes, either through Sparrow Wallet, or even using the Blockstream app on mobile or desktop if you're trusting their app. If you're trusting their node. So in Sparrow, for example, when you're using the public server section here, I would not connect to Blockstream after they start running Bitcoin Core 30, and as well for the Blockstream mobile app or the desktop app.
Wow. So let's go back. He's talking about Blockstream Jade right now. He is saying I wouldn't mess with Blockstream Jade if that's the case. So let's go back to that.
Ends up running Core 30, as appears likely from these posts. I think it's a good idea not to connect your personal wallet to any of their nodes, either through Sparrow Wallet, or even using the Blockstream app on mobile or desktop if you're trusting their app. If you're trusting their node. So in Sparrow, for example, when you're using the public server section here, I would not connect to Blockstream after they.
Hey, thank you very much. Was that you, Sean? With 420? Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Start running Bitcoin Core 30, and as well for the Blockstream mobile app or the desktop app, which used to be called Blockstream Green, is now called the Blockstream app. Now, you could certainly connect the Blockstream app to your own NOTS node, but the question for me is really, why bother at this point? Why bother supporting a company like Blockstream, whose founder has been so hostile to Bitcoiners who are rightly worried about the endless problems that Bitcoin Core 30 is going to cause? I'm personally not interested in supporting people or companies that work against my own interests as a Bitcoiner, so I will no longer be recommending the Blockstream Jade hardware.
Oh, Grasshopper did that. Oh, okay. Thank you, Grasshopper. I very much appreciate that, man. That's a lot of sats. Thank you so much. And then another 9 came in, a 5, a 17, and a 76. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. All I'm saying is I can't see validators allowing malware that is dangerous to the future of Bitcoin to put CAM on the blockchain. I hear what you're saying in theory, VHF. The problem is when you just blow open the op return from 80 to 100,000, they don't have a choice, VHF. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're going to stop it is you don't download Core 30, version 30. VHM, M, Quinter, VHF, not me. I assume it was Hopper. Yes. Okay, I got you. He's going off on Adam Back right now, guys. I thought he was on our team last week or 2 weeks ago. It looked like he wasn't going to do it, but now I guess he is. And 88 sats. Thank you, Jorv. That's you, sir. And now I guess Adam Back is going to do it. Going to run version 30. And now Matthew Cratter's calling him out for it.
It's my own interest as a Bitcoiner. So I will no longer be recommending the Blockstream Jade hardware wallet or any other Blockstream products.
Now that's a big deal. Him not recommending Blockstream Jade, because he always recommends Blockstream Jade, Matthew Cratter. Now he's like, you know what? F you, Adam Back. In so many words. We're not dealing with this anymore. So I'm like, wow, okay.
I never got paid or compensated in any way to recommend their products, but I was happy to do it for free because I thought we were on the same page, that we were all on the same page when it came to Bitcoin. I've helped Blockstream sell probably many thousands of Jades over the years. Unfortunately, Blockstream and I are no longer on the same page, it would appear. Adam is.
That's not a humble brag. That's a fact. Because I bought a Blockstream Jade based on what Matthew Cratter told me. I bought one in, I think, 2022, I believe. Based on his recommendation. Again, this guy's got 200-something thousand subscribers, Matthew Cratter. So him saying that I'm just basically asking you not to download version, 30, of Core, and you're just out here doing this stuff after basically, and it ain't about Matthew Cratter, I know that, but he's like, basically, I've sold a lot of products for you, man. And then you're going to go and do that? He's like, I'm not going to support you. Not only am I not going to support you, but I'm going to call you out on my channel. And I love it. It'll be 51% of nodes running not soon. The information's out there. People are doing it. Yes. That'll be great, Dean. Absolutely great. I love it, man.
Taken what appears to be a very dark turn on X in the past few months. And I honestly don't recognize him. I can't believe that this is the same guy who valiantly fought the NSA in the 1990s. Instead, he's devolved into this sort of sad shell for an investor in Bitcoin treasury companies like Naka and CEP, which have been disasters for retail investors. Now,
Wow, he is going off on Adam Back right now.
Adam will always be a legend in Bitcoin's history for having invented Hashcash and for being one of the first people to receive an email from Satoshi himself. But he's apparently not the same cypherpunk guy today that he once was. Even his language and attitude, they're so different in 2025 that there's been some speculation on X that he has at least partially outsourced his X account, as Pledator points out here. I know quote, Adam Back intern theory was a joke at first, but now I'm actually fully convinced that it's real and that Shinobi is tweeting on his behalf. When I read many of Adam's recent replies, all I hear is Shinobi's cocky mannerisms, vocal fry, Valley Girl accent pleading through. Hear Adam Back saying, dude, how cringe can you be? Do you imagine she wants to read that nasty nonsense? So when it comes to
That's what some people do, these big accounts, man. They'll outsource it to people. You know what I mean? And that, again, that right there was spot on. That didn't sound anything like Adam Back to me, personally.
Bitcoin, unfortunately, you need to quote unquote slay your heroes. This is metaphorical, of course. And that means slaying me as well, metaphorically, of course, if I ever go rogue or otherwise lose the plot too. Now, when you first get into Bitcoin, it's natural to outsource your thinking to quote unquote Bitcoin experts, because this is what we do in fiat areas of our lives as well. I would urge you to get away from that as quickly.
Hey, Dean, how you doing, man? Something else happened on speed. 1 sat. Thank you very much. I believe after George 88. Now 7 sats. Thank you. And Gray says something. Have you seen Luke's own real-time stats of net of Knott's nose? I haven't seen that. Gray. Gray, I'm gonna put you on the wheel, sir. How are you, man? Good to see you, sir. Yeah, did you watch this video today, Gray? About Matthew Cratter going off on Adam Back? Gray Motion, salute to you, sir. Always good to see you, Gray.
As you can, though. Even the great Adam Back has gotten quite a bit wrong over the years. So if you trusted him in the past and his quote unquote game theory, you would have been on the wrong side of history at those points. For example, history has forgotten that he was in favor of big blocks at one point in time. Here he's strongly agreeing with Jeff Garzik. My suggestion, 2 megabyte blocks now, 4 megabytes in 2 years, 8 megabytes in 4 years, then reassess. This would have been a complete disaster and would have ended up destroying Bitcoin in the same way that it destroyed Bcash and BSV. So this is the thing. All of us, Adam obviously has forgotten more about Bitcoin than I've ever known, but all of us can make huge errors. A possible explanation for Adam's recent.
I like this. I like his approach on this. You know what I'm saying? He's basically saying, look, man, this guy's an OG. He's forgotten more about Bitcoin than I've ever known. It's a very humble statement, and it's true. You know, he's the reason Bitcoin is here. Part of the reason, big part of the reason. You know, Satoshi stood on his shoulders, and a lot of people think, a big percentage of people think that Adam Back could be or is Satoshi. So for him to do a 180 and flip flop, and again suggest back then, and like that tweet said, to make the blocks go from 1 to 2 to 4 megabytes or whatever, would have been disastrous. And again, Matthew Cratter's self-aware enough to say, look, man, I know a little bit about Bitcoin, but nowhere near as Adam Back. This ain't right. And you got to call him out, including myself. And I like that. You know, I respect Matthew Cratter a lot. I really do, man.
Can make huge errors. A possible explanation for Adam's recent stances could be his close friendship with Peter Todd. Some people have been speculating, yes, the same guy who has no problem with blowing open Bitcoin's max.
Peter Todd's another one. He was supposed to be Satoshi too in that thing. Hola, good people. What's up, Sin? My man Sin, how you been, brother? Good to see you. Let me put you on the wheel, man. My sensei, the Renaissance man. Welcome back, brother. How you doing? We missed you, Sin. Good to see you, man. Hello, everyone. No need to be on the wheel. Just on for a bit. Nice, man. Good to see you, Adam and Lori. Emily, evening, Sir Gray. Hola, Sensei. Adam and Lori, I am Satoshi. Yes, you are, sir. Yes, you are. God.
Adam's recent stances could be his close friendship with Peter Todd. Some people have been speculating, yes, the same guy who has no problem with blowing open Bitcoin's max supply of 21 million by adding a tail emission or demirage or something like that. Just as Peter Todd has no problem with blowing open Bitcoin's mempool filters, Peter Todd is the creator of yet another attack on Bitcoin called Libra Relay, which seeks to bypass the P2P node network and expedite the sending of spam directly to miners. And in fact, Adam has had the gall to suggest that Libra Relay actually helps Bitcoin's decentralization, which is a complete lie. Libra Relay, maybe that would be even better to defend network decentralization. I can't even believe I'm seeing Adam say things like that. I'm done arguing with Adam on X. For many of us, it's been many months of circular, time-wasting arguments that go nowhere. So for example, here he asserts to me that filters don't work. My response, there were over 1 million mined opportune outputs during the month of August, and 100 or so were larger than 80 bytes. Why are you advocating for 160 byte opportunes if the 80 byte opportune filter is ineffective? Just leave everything where it is today.
Yeah, I'm the same way about leaving arguments alone. I'm only dealing with people that are sane and have a soul. But people that are convinced about something that I 100% disagree with, there's no even reason to waste time or waste energy in arguing with those people. Okay, especially the far left, Dems and the people that are just brainwashed and stuff like that are, pretty much zombies. I don't argue with these people. And again, same goes with the core devs and the people that are with core. I don't argue with them idiots. Hola, Bidax Machine, Emzo, Grasshopper, and Quinn. Hola, ladies. Corito, boom. Yeah, I don't even bother, man. I don't even bother.
Just leave everything where it is today. And of course, crickets. And I've been in so many threads, so many discussions with him that end in this way, where he's saying, no one said filters don't work. And then the previous day, he's just said filters don't work. So there's a lot of just senseless back and forth. There's also complete nonsense statements like this. I don't know if he's being misquoted by Bitcoin News, but this is attributed to him saying, you need to decide which is more important to you, censoring spam or having Bitcoin remain uncensorable. I know where I stand. That's an extremely misleading thing to say. As Ghost of Unhosted Marcellus says here, this is utter BS. Censorship resistance doesn't have anything to do with transaction relay policies. Somehow my little bubble of retard node runners understands Bitcoin censorship resistance, while Adam does not. Here's Adam attacking Bitcoin knots, saying, I think knots are dangerous as they're inadvertently building the architecture for censorship and flagging authorities to attack Bitcoin. Mechanic responds, leaving data carrier size, in other words, the op return data limit, leaving data carrier size where it's been for 10 years is, quote, building the architecture for censorship and flagging authorities to attack Bitcoin. And we're the ones fear-mongering, spreading FUD. So that's the very sad place we're at today. If you still have a Jade hardware wallet, it's still a good wallet, obviously safe to use with your own Knots node. Of course, I wouldn't use it with Blockstream. If you need a new hardware wallet, just get a Cold Card. NVK has honestly not been that great on the Knots and spam issues, but Cold Card still makes the best hardware wallets around, in my opinion, and they don't have the glitchiness of Jade hardware wallets where reaching out to the blind oracle to unlock the wallet can sometimes be quite frustrating. I'm completely done with the Jade. I'm also done with Blockstream as long as they continue to run cover for an incompetent and corrupt Bitcoin core. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video, and let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Wow. I love it. And I don't hear any lies in that, number one. And number two, let me say this. I've never been a fan of Blockstream, Jade. Everybody keeps telling me how easy it is and how easy it's just not that good to me. And I'm not just saying this. Once I got my Cold Card, I just put Blockstream Jade to the side, to be honest with you. But I don't hear any lies told, what he just said. And I love that, man. Call him out. He even said, call me out if I change. Shots fired. Yeah, exactly. You know what side I'm on. But when Lambo, Trent, what's up, my man? How are you, sir? Put Trent on the top of the list. Trent. When Lambo, he says. Trent, where's Satman at, man? From the Bitcoin Technician. How are you? I just found that fascinating, man. He's like, you know what? I'm done arguing. Not only am I done arguing, but I'm going to call him out for his BS. Great. No, running on a computer. Nice. Cold Card is king. Exactly. TB Tizzle. I don't know. I just never been, and I'm not dissing. If you want to run Blockstream Jade, you go right ahead. But Cold Card, in particular, Cold Card Q is the shit. Fight crime as usual. And we got to call these people out, man. That's what we're going to do here on this channel. So, all right. No blocks have come out, guys. It's been 25 minutes. So let's talk about what's going on in the news today. Again, I don't want anybody to get confused here on this channel. We're going to talk about Bitcoin and stuff like that for sure. But again, it's all about good versus evil for me, and don't fall for the divide and conquer situation. We will call out the people that are bad, but again, we know they're trying to divide and then conquer us. That's their plan. And again, here we must find and recruit as many good soldiers as we can, and forgive the bad ones. And that's hard to do. And I'm going to get into what I talked about yesterday with Van Jones here in a little bit. But, I try to give the man a benefit of the doubt, and I found out he lied. You know what I mean? And Megyn Kelly gave some context on what he did. And again, I was trying to be the nice guy because I'll talk about when I get there to that video. But, yeah, it's just crazy, man. And then YouTube today admits banning creators based on Biden and is now bringing back creators. Huh? Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Look at this. Just in, YouTube admits the Biden administration pressured them to censor Americans. offers terminated channels opportunity to rejoin the platform. Huh. Now, I was told, and so were you, that MAGA was fascist and they're dictators. Is anybody surprised by this, by the way? Now, me as a quote-unquote YouTuber, basically, even before Biden came into office, because, again, I started September 20th, 2020, which is a couple of months, actually 3-4 months before he got into office in January 2021, that's when stuff started changing for me. You know what I mean? Jor is hiding behind Citadel. Yes. Hello, Trent says. What's up, Trent? Big chillin', trying to raise capital from my Bitcoin treasury. That's right. F2. I can concur with that. We love YouTube. Sin Diesel, can you install your own mempool and public pool? I'm listening, Jerry. Not trying to change your subject. Just a side comment. I'll try not to confuse the channel. Sorry. No doubt, man. No doubt. Solar. Shit, Jerry. We've been known that. They just admitting, which is weird. Yes. My phone is dead. Yeah. It's like, again, when they talk about right-wing conspiracies, I call it delayed facts. Again, water is wet, ladies and gentlemen. We know this already, right? But the idiots on the left or the brainwashed people will say, oh, no. YouTube is fine. No, there's no differences going on. Really? And now they're bringing people back in. So that's the first part. But the second part is, can we start talking how we want to now? Can I say what I want instead of going over to Bumble and talk to the mainstream, Mr. Trump and representatives? So then we all knew the Biden administration pressured all the platforms to censor us. Exactly. They did the same thing with X. Remember the Twitter files, ladies and gentlemen? Does the Cold Card Q support liquid Bitcoin? That's a good question, Gray. I don't know. That's something for Jor. Jor would ask. I don't use liquid Bitcoin. That's a good question, Gray. We need a new boob tube. Maybe. But again, this is all water. Water is wet, guys. Just in YouTube. Yeah, and I'm going to show you another post on there. No, Gray. Okay. If I can find it, let me go back over here. It's just absolutely insane what these people have done to us over the last few months. Let's see if I can find the other one. I had another post here on that. And interesting. Republican. Okay, here it is. Here it is. It says, breaking, due to our oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform. But that's not all. There's a thread here. And they're saying all the stuff that happened. Right? If you read that. And what I'll do is I'll put this in the description, but it's from Jim Jordan. And I'll put this in the chat so you guys can look at it yourself. And what I said on this post was, I said, interesting. The Republican Party, MAGA, aka, passed a bill allowing content creators to come back to YouTube. I thought MAGA was fascist. Funny how that works. Again, all you need to know about these people, you want to know what they're doing? And I'm talking about the Democrats on the federal level that have been co-opted by the elites. Because again, it ain't Democrats versus Republicans. It's elites and people by the money printer against us. They just co-opted the Democrat Party. If you want to know what they're up to, listen to what they say about MAGA. Everything they say about MAGA is what they're doing. You're a fascist. You're this. You're that. All that stuff, that means that's what they're doing. Citadel, the new YouTube is Rumble. It's way better. The new YouTube, yeah. It's pretty good. Thanks, Bitcoin. So I stream there every morning, Greg. Yes, he does. What's your channel there? I'll follow. Gray Motion, haven't delved that far yet. Still new to running a node. Yep. Yeah. Yes, Liquid is also pretty tied to Blockstream, not controlled but tied to. Okay. 88 sats, Greg. Yeah, just go over there. You check them out. I mean, they are bringing back people I'd take not being actively censored. Probably. Yep. That has the function built so you don't have to use bolts 12. Yo ho, hey Maggie, what's up? Maggie, how are you? We love Maggie's. Good to see you, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Bumble has potential, but it needs more major improvement. Yeah, it does. But it's getting better. Oh, you're George. Didn't recognize the Citadel account. Time what time PSD do you stream? Also just followed. Yeah, he does it every morning. Every morning. So yeah, that's big news. And then Trump today, for those you don't know, he met up with the UN today. And let's just say he went off on the UN today. It's getting better. Yes, it is. It is. So let's look at this Fox News clip, them talking about what happened there, and then I'm going to show you the clip of what actually happened at the UN meeting. And he told nothing but facts, man. I got 1 sat, 7 sats, 7 sats coming in on speed. Thank you. And then 6. Thank you very much. Let's see what they say.
This Fox News alert now for nearly an hour. President Trump has been speaking at the United Nations General Assembly in New York City. He unfurled raw truth to countries in attendance there and to the rest of the world. And moments from now, the president is set to hold a meeting with the UN Secretary General. And that meeting will follow that long speech that put quite the spotlight on the different world order we are living in now. He even called the former President Joe Biden by name, comparing where the world was under Biden and while Biden was leading the United States and where we are now. The president talked in detail.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And again, he was going up the escalator, and I have a video of that as well. He was going up the escalator, and the escalator stopped. And then when he gets to the podium, there's no freaking teleprompter. Look at this.
President Trump, Schumer.
I wonder if that was an accident. I wonder.
Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless. And that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. And he went off today on the UN. Okay? And by the way, everything he said was the truth. He wasn't lying, but he was telling the truth. Hey there, Megan. Good to have you with us. Yes. See you, Jerry. You can take me off. No doubt, brother. Thank you. What a legend he is, man. And again, when you hear what he's saying, and again, it's nothing but facts, what he's talking about, guys. It's just so you're fired, exactly. It's just so good to have a real leader in there. And I'm not talking about Obama, even Reagan. Reagan was great. Bill Clinton. This guy is cut from a different cloth, man. Again, I don't agree with everything he does, but he is nobody to play with, man.
About his own foreign policy victories, the successful containment of illegal immigration into the United States. And he had a warning, too, for other countries with all those open borders. And of course, he talked about the ongoing wars with Israel versus Hamas and Ukraine versus Russia. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. From moments ago, here's the president.
6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents. An era of calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of our time. America is respected again like it has never been respected before. You think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or 1 year ago, we were a laughingstock all over the world.
Steve Yates, former Deputy National Security Advisor for Vice President Dick Cheney and Heritage Foundation Vice President now. Great to see you today. Thank you for being with me. First of all, I'm thinking you must have watched the entire speech. It was a little bit more than an hour. What were just a couple of highlights that you think the world is paying attention to President Trump at this moment?
Well, there's a few things, Harris, that are sort of process. There was apparently a teleprompter malfunction, and if there ever was a world leader that's not going to be dissuaded by a teleprompter malfunction, it's President Trump. He knows very much what he wants to say, and he's able to, on the fly, continue with his messaging, and he was characteristically very direct, is the most comfortable leader ever in uncomfortable situations. So he would speak blunt truth, but with power. And what a difference 8 years makes from when he entered the world scene and kind of ushered in the end of globalism, and people laughed at him. Now the World Trade Organization has failed world trade. The World Health Organization has failed world health. The UN Security Council has failed to preserve peace and promote prosperity. And he's presenting now with experience, the most active 7 months ever in a presidency on foreign affairs, an alternative to the globalist view.
What would you say about, I mean, he was really, really sticking it to those leaders in the room and around the world with all those open borders, particularly those in Western Europe. What would you say about him talking on that topic? Do they get what he's saying? It's going to cost them if they continue their behavior.
Well, they should get what he's saying, because it's not really about President Trump. It's about basic hard truths. If you look at one of the controversies of recent weeks, it's the number of our allies that have decided to recognize a non-existent state of Palestine. Well, a lot of the driver between that in that issue is the migration into those capitals that have very forceful mobs that are pushing this activist agenda, and it's causing these leaders to take this position that won't feed a single Gazan, won't make peace closer. So the immigration issue is shaping world politics in those capitals, and President Trump is as direct about it there as he has been at home, and it's true.
Well, I want to talk now about President Trump and what he had to say, his points on his second term foreign policy achievements. Let's watch.
In a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal.
Your reaction?
Well, we'll leave aside whether
Big Shoots, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. How are you? You're absolutely right, Jor. I love it. I love when he talks like that. I'm so glad to have him back, man. So glad to have him back. And this was in New York. He met up with the UN people. And wait till I show you these clips. He went off on the UN. Because if you guys understand what the UN is supposed to do and why they're formed, they're completely ass backwards, man. They're not doing anything. Hey, Vic. Hey, Greg. They're not doing anything they're supposed to be doing. It's just like the Fed. Doing well, Jerry. Good, man. How the boys doing? Good to see you, Vic.
the wars are all over. That's the constant gardening required of world leaders. It's an absolute indictment of the United Nations that they have been absent from the reality and even the conversation about bringing.
Yeah, exactly. And what they're doing with their borders, Fed is a crime scene. Yeah. And what they're doing to these countries and the borders and stuff like that, it's just it's criminal what they're doing. You know what I mean? And it's sad. You know, and again, why is America having to give up so much and Europe's not? That's the question. You know what I mean? I got another zap, 6, 6, and 9. Thank you so much on speed. And then here comes my boy, Scotty, loves the hottie, gives up 99 sats. And he says, my internet will work. Oh, Sonny gave me 119 sats. Thank you, Sonny. Sorry about that. I didn't even see it, brother. I appreciate that very much. A lot of sats. Thank you. Scotty's here. He says, hey, Jerry, what kind of music do you like? I used to like rap, Scotty, but now I've been in a little bit more classical. Scotty, what kind of music do you like? Thanks for asking, man. Good to see you, Scotty, and thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you, brother. Very much. Boys are good. Wild as always. Yep. I knew that. Scotty boys, salute. Vic. Boys will be boys, Vic. Boys will be boys.
Peace in Ukraine, peace in Israel, trying to avoid a conflict in East Asia. Essentially, the UN has lost its purpose. They're celebrating 80 years and saying better together, but really it's 80 years of missing their mission. And so I thought President Trump's direct remarks were spot on in that regard.
You know, I want to touch just now real quickly because I'd ask you about, it wasn't a lecture, but he was definitely telling countries, look, you've got to stop it with the open borders. And then he took on the United Nations on how much money they're helping or spending on people helping get across our border. Let's watch that.
The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them.
Preach. Again, they do everything ass backwards. Listen to what he just said. And it's facts.
Invasions, not create them. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of
Sonny, thank you so much, brother. All right, Jerry, going to step out. Sent you something on strike. You all have a good night. I just acknowledged that, and I thank you so much, Sonny. I appreciate it. It's a lot of sats, brother. Sorry I didn't see it earlier. You have a good one, Sonny. Thank you so much. Something else helping on strike. 99 sats. Thank you, Scotty. Bit of anything. Love guitar. Okay, good. How are you today, Scotty?
the people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net.
So not only are we paying money into your country, as far as America goes, not only are we paying money to help protect you, right? But you're actually letting people come from your country to not only invade our borders, but to other countries to invade your borders. And we're paying the most. It's like, come on now, dude. Hello, Vic. You the man.
We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well.
Ginger, how you doing, sir? Good to have you in, man. Welcome back. 2467 2467 46. How you doing, Ginger? We're gonna get into some good little news today too. I got some stuff I got to show you. I like disco. All right, Ginger, Sharon. I'm just trying to keep Jerry's blood pressure down with some laughs. I appreciate it, man. Keep it coming. Keep it coming, man. What's up, Ginger? You know what's going up too, Jor.
Your quick reaction to that.
Well, it's absolutely true that there were UN-affiliated organizations that enabled a lot of this mass migration, but they also have been very permissive about money laundering and the movement of illicit chemicals. The fentanyl pandemic in the United States is directly tied to a lot of these kinds of movements. Took my daughter and 500.
Pepe, what's up, brother? Jerry, do you believe Cynthia Lummis is going against the First Amendment? I don't know what she's doing, Pepe. Pepe, I hope this ain't one of your... How you doing, Pepe? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You always come in with something. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Pepe. I use Aqua Gray. Love that wallet. Me too. Something happened on strike here. 99 sats. Tired. No need to put me on today. I already did, brother. You're on, so don't worry about that. Thank you, Scotty.
1,000 other sweet children out of our country. So the UN definitely has blood on its hands with its approach to these issues. And the president's right to encourage all countries.
So do the Democrats, and so do any liberal in any other country. So, yeah. Anybody that was okay with open borders, with everything we know that's going on that I can't talk about here on this platform, has got blood in their hands. It's as simple as that. I can send it to you on Nostr. Okay. Thanks, Bitcoin Citadel. I thought you were talking to me for a second. I know.
To put their citizens first, their sovereignty first. And if they do that, they've got a good partner in the United States and moving forward in a positive direction towards peace and prosperity.
Steve, I don't want to run over what you said, and I think I heard it correctly. My prayers for you and your family. I did not know about your daughter.
Thank you very much, Harris. And I highlight her because I love her and honor her.
Yeah.
But truly, 500,000 Americans is not a small number. And where has the United Nations or any of our allies really been in trying to cooperate to end the scourge?
And again, where's the mainstream media at? Where is the mainstream media on this, ladies and gentlemen? Where? Let's see if we can get some spins in. All right, let's do 2 spins real quick before we get into the next video. Emily won 100, block 100. Let's see who can win block 101. Then we'll get into Trump's UN speech. Not the whole thing. I'm going to show you some highlights. Jerry, you can talk about whatever you want on YouTube now. You think so, Bug? I hope you're right. Magic Moolah, you're the winner, brother. Because if that's the case, I would be definitely going off. I hope you're right, Bug. But this is another reason I wanted Trump to get in, because I thought he would work on that. You know what I mean? Moolah, Magic, congratulations, sir. I think you always give yours away, I believe. Then why do messages keep disappearing? Yes. Good question. Give them to Emily. Smart man. Smart man. Good game, Magic. You can speak free now. Yeah, you can speak free now. I don't know about that. Moolah, thank you very much, Moolah. No doubt. That was 101 to Emily. Back-to-back Emily's. Can she win 3 in a row? I think she can. There's a difference between being terminated and shadow banned. Yes, very true. Toxic Gamer, are you here, sir? Because if you are, you got 100 sats. Jason, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. How are you? Jason, you my man. Good to see you, Jason. Put my man on the wheel. Always good to see Jason. 999. 100. Yeah, after reading the Jim Jordan statement, you should be good. But has it passed though? Has it passed? Salute to you, Jason. But you got taken down for Thomas Massey video. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Hi. Okay, Toxic. Got you, brother. Toxic Gamer. Toxic Gamer. Ooh. Good game, Toxic. Good to see you too, Jerry. No doubt, brother. Thanks. Yes. Congratulations. All right, we're all caught up. Let's see what Mr. Trump has to say. I'm going to show you the beginning of this. Well, we already seen that, but he says there are 2 things that I got from the UN: a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. And this man went off. He went off. So let me show you some highlights of this. And let's hear our great president, our strong president, talking to the UN directly in front of all of them without a teleprompter. That's when Trump is the best.
It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration. But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net. You're destroying your countries. They're being.
This is, and you guys know this, but let me just say this, okay? This is not just the president of the United States, okay? This is the man that is the world leader. He is the number 1 leader in the world, okay? Because he's in charge of America. That's why Russia and Ukraine look to him for the end of the war and stuff like that. I know a lot of people think a certain country led by a certain person has his strings on Trump, which again, that's still being investigated by myself. But this guy comes in and demands respect. This is the complete opposite of what Brandon used to do from 21 to 25. And he is going off on the entire UN. They're all there. This ain't just regular people. This is the UN, and he's going off on these people. And he's telling them the truth. And what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? They are new Europeans. Yes, that's my president. Wife needs a hug. I'm hanging in the background for a bit. Okay. The weather is getting ugly here. Severe thunderstorms and hail. It's coming from Jenny State. I hope she's okay. Me too. These immigrants are the new Europeans. Yes. Congratulations, Toxic. He's going off on these people, man.
You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor.
Terrible mayor in London. He's going to go off on Europe. But see, this is what I like. It's almost like we get to watch the boss of the world go off on other nations that are like behind the scenes. He's doing it in front of the freaking world. He is just going off on these people. He did it for an hour straight. I was going to show the whole thing, but it was just too long. That's why I'm showing the highlights. But this is the boss going off on the quote unquote employees or whatever. Like, I know he's not in charge of these companies, of these countries, but he's letting these people know you're effing up. And this is what leadership looks like, guys. Real leadership.
Just absolutely nothing about it. I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed. Now they want.
Exactly, Vic. And this is why they hate him. This is why they hate him. Because Biden was an empty suit and he was a puppet. And this man, as far as I know, by the establishment, is not being controlled. Again, I'm still looking into that one country that some people think he's controlled by, and the Epstein list and things like that. I know the man's not perfect, but every time I doubt him, he does something like this on the world stage. And I love Donald Trump, man. I love what he's doing. I couldn't ask for a better president to represent me and my country.
So changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer.
This is why the powers that be, one of the many reasons the powers that be did everything but throw the kitchen sink at Mr. Trump before he became president again. They attacked him ever since he went down that escalator because you can't censor Donald Trump. They tried to do it after his first term, and they did a good job of it. They took him off Twitter, took him off Google, took him off everything. So he started Truth and did his thing. You can't shut up Donald Trump. That's why they try to what him. That's why they try to sue him. That's why they try to put him in jail. That's why they try to defame him, because he's not part of the club. This guy is not one of these elitist people. He is not part of the club. And when you hear these quote-unquote Democrats talking about the Epstein list, and again, I'm not saying he's on it or not. I don't know. But all I know is one thing's for sure and two things for certain is, one, if Trump was already on that list, the Democrats would have talked about it a long time ago. And two, most importantly, or maybe secondly, is that they did not, the Democrats on the federal level, did not give a shit about the Epstein list 4 years when Trump was in the first time, because they tried to get him on the Russia stuff and everything else in the Mueller report. When Biden was office, and the only reason they're bringing it up now is because they're the anti-Trump party. And that's it. And we know this, guys. You know what I mean? People hate him over the most absurd information. Exactly. Jerry, do you think they will have a... I'm in Arkansas in the middle of the storm. I like Trump, but no offense. He promised to work on wars. He hasn't made much progress on either. I'm sorry, but he's got work to do. I agree with that. But I don't know if you just saw, hey, Triple B's, I don't know if you just saw it, ma'am, but he just said he ended seven wars. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what 7 he was talking about. He promised to work on wars and hasn't made much progress. He said he ended 7 wars. So, what's up, Triple B's and J? Yes. But I ain't arguing with you. Just saying. I'm not a Trump apologist, guys. I'm not. Believe me, I try to do my best to call balls and strikes. Bitcoin bacon booty. Is Jay here? Good to see you guys, by the way. That's like saying you're upset the doctor didn't cure your cancer. Solar. What city in Arkansas? I used to live in Fayetteville, Sharon. Trump went end all wars. Trump ended the American war. And Trump will end the Ukraine war probably by 2027. I don't know what 7 wars he's talking about, but Ukraine, Russia, and genocide in Palestine is still ongoing. Yes, it is. I completely agree with that. I don't know what 7 wars he's talking about either, honestly, when he said that. Good points, Triple B.
There's everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late.
AKA the Green New Scam, AKA global warming. It's all fake. Is this the same one? Let me see.
I ended 7 wars, and in all cases, they were raging with countless thousands of people being killed.
Now, again, Triple B's, I don't know what 7 wars he's talking about. Let's see in the comments section. Does anybody know? Absolutely insane. Anybody call him out to his, and nobody called him out to his, I'm surprised that he didn't say it's Biden's fault. I don't know what 7 wars he's talking about, honestly. Somebody's going to have to do a fact check on that. All these wars are Armenian, not American. LOL, Corey, you lived in the same city as Boogie 2988. I live in Heber Springs, Corey. GOW. Who is that? I guess he got nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for the Cambodia Thai dispute. I don't know if that was a war. A famous shit show YouTuber. Oh, okay.
I ended 7 wars, and in all cases, they were raging with countless thousands of people being killed. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before.
That's a good point. And again, I'm not arguing with you, Triple B's. I'm with you. But again, no man is perfect. He can't end everything. We're trying to ask him to, and this is what I call, the Ukraine, Russia war. It's kind of like the American liberal war with the money, the money cleaning over there, sending it to Ukraine, which I can't say. And then I call the Republican war the Israel and against Hamas situation. And again, Iran, in my personal opinion, YouTube is not a threat to America. In my personal opinion, YouTube, I think that was BS. But like Solar said, think of all the wars prevented by him in office. I completely agree. Think about all the new, it's almost like the criminals in Washington, D.C. When he put the National Guard there, think about all the crime he prevented, not just cleaned up, and locked up. The prevention is the key. And think about all the self-deportations he's done, too, with the illegal immigrants. And all the potential immigrants coming in when he closed the border without building a wall, by the way. So that's a great point, Solar. I completely agree with that. LMAO, Buggy the Jew. Allegedly, India and Pakistan, Israel and Iran, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, Thailand and Cambodia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, Egypt, and Ethiopia and Serbia and Kosovo. Thank you, Sin. I knew Sin would come up with it. Thank you, Sin. Trump helped Kyrgyzstan become an independent nation. For that alone, he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Corey, I used to live in Bentonville also. I love Fayetteville. Yeah. So again, I give Donald Trump so far I give him an A- for what he's been doing. But again, maybe higher, man, because he's just, again, of course, the Epstein list and a couple different things I don't like, but he's working in warp speed, man. And nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? But he's the best president in my lifetime and the best president, in my personal opinion, in the 21st century. And it ain't even close.
It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not.
Though, me too, Sin, now that you say that. But those aren't the sexy ones. Those aren't the ones they talk about all the time. And those are not the ones that, make news and make money. And we're not sending any money over to those people at the rate that we're sending Israel and Ukraine for some damn reason. I still don't know why we're sending money to Ukraine, but I mean, I do know, but I can't say it here on YouTube.
Did not even try to help in any of them. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle, and then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations: a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
This is, again, love them or hate them. You got to respect them, and you got to know, in my personal opinion, I don't see anybody controlling this guy. Because he has a mind of his own. He's the boss's boss's boss. You know what I mean? And of course, he's not politically correct. And I don't want my politicians or my president or the guy I vote in to be politically correct. Because politically correct means, to me, in my personal opinion, is you're corrupt and you're bought and paid for, and you're a prostitute and you're not working for me. And this is what I love about Mr. Trump.
bad escalator, and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to use the word owned. You could be right, Jason, because I haven't really paid a lot of attention to that. I have been over the last few months. Um, Owned by them, I think they may have something on him. Uh, you know, I think they may have something on him. Own him though, I don't know about that. But again, I don't have that much information, and I always change my mind when I get more information. And you may have more information about that than I do. But if if you show me some information showing that he's owned by them, then hey, owned maybe, warned definitely, yes, yes. I'm in between the warned and the they may have something on him type of thing, you know, not the owned part. You're right, I misspoke, but not owned, but definitely have something on him for sure. Yeah, I'm in between what you and Sin just said, in between warned and have something on him because he's definitely treating them a little different than every other country, and that guy that's in charge right now is not a trustworthy guy, in my personal opinion, over there in that other country. Yeah, his stance on the situation in Palestine is something I very much disagree with. Yeah, me too. He should stand up to bully countries. I think he should too. He's definitely in the F around and find out zone. Yes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
War and wars is action. I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Facts. I didn't hear one lie told. He should stand up to bully country. He's definitely, yes. Corey, when did you live there? As long as Trump continues to embrace Bitcoin, I'm all for him. Yeah. The problem with that, though, Corey, is embracing and adopting is two different things. When we say embrace, a lot of us mean adopt. And, I don't know if Trump is going to be the one that does that. Maybe on his way out, and JD might. I'm guessing JD halfway into his end of his second term, we may get a Satoshi situation. But I don't know. It's a good point, Corey. Really good point.
Nations. The UN is such. What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle, and then a teleprompter that didn't work. Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them. There is no more serious danger to our planet today than the most powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man. My administration will lead an international effort to enforce biological weapons convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification system that everyone can trust. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. All green.
Yeah, climate change. Climate change. Preach it, Trump. The Green New Scam. Tell them.
That everyone can trust. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. All green is all bankrupt. That's what it represents. And it's not politically correct. I'll be very badly criticized for saying it, but global warming, not happening.
Yeah, exactly. We know that. We know global warming is not happening. Anybody with a brain knows that. All right, we're all caught up with the spins. Let's take a look at Trump behind the scenes here. Meeting up, President Trump meets with Arab leaders at the United Nations to discuss Gaza. This is a quick little video. Let's check this out and see what he's got to say. And this is what we're talking about with that other country. But these are Arab leaders. And let's take a look at this.
You can let the reporters in too if you want. Let the reporters in. We don't want you just photographers. This is just photographers. You know how many showed up for Biden? Like 2. And they didn't know who they were. Okay? I'm going to make this an important meeting. So this is going to be a very important meeting. It's going to be a meeting with great leaders from a very important part of our planet, the Middle East, and we want to end the war in Gaza. We're going to end it. We're going to end it. Maybe we can end it right now. But they're respected all over the world. They're respected by me in the Oval Office. I can tell you that. They're respected by the United States. And we're here to see if we can get the hostages back and get the war over and get back to life in the Middle East, which is a beautiful life, but it's much more beautiful without wars, right? So I really greatly respect the fact that you're here, and we're going to get it done. We're going to have a meeting, if we can agree to something. I'm going to see the people in Israel, including Bibi, and we're going to get something done because it's gone on too long, and we want it to end. And we want to get those hostages back too. We've got most of them back. Right now, they have 20 hostages and 38 dead bodies, and the parents of those young people that were killed and are right now in body bags. They want their son or daughter back just as much as they wanted them as though they were alive. We have to get them back. We have to get the 38 back, and we have to get the 20 back. And I think we'll be able to do it. This is the group that can do it. More than any other group in the world, this is the group that can do it. So it's an honor, King, to be with you. And we appreciate it. Tamim, the job you've done is incredible. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Mr. President, if you don't mind.
So that's pretty interesting. Today's show, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be a long show because I got a few things I want to cover. And yesterday, again, just like I was saying with Jason, when I get more information, I change. And yesterday, I was trying to be, and I'm going to give you full disclosure here. Megyn Kelly exposes Van Jones. And I want to talk about this because I went out here publicly yesterday and I was trying to give Van Jones the benefit of the doubt. Now, let me say this. Let me give you a little backdrop. When I heard Van Jones first come out and say what he said about Charlie Kirk, not when they were going back and forth. I'm talking about the text messages saying that, we want to, be good. And he was saying all this shit. I said, fuck Van Jones. Fuck him. That's what I said. Right. But then when I listening to Erica Kirk talking about, we need to unite and I forgive. And my Christian came out of me yesterday and I said, you know what? Let me give Van Jones the benefit of the doubt. Well, I was wrong yesterday and I am not going to give Van Jones the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'm still going to be a nice guy. Okay. I'm still going to help people that need to be helped, but not these people, not Van Jones and these other evil doers. Van Jones is an evil man. I truly believe. And I'm going to let you listen to Megyn Kelly talk about Van Jones, and I stand corrected on this. And this is not just Van Jones. These are these propagandists, lying demons that are on the mainstream media that our family and friends are listening to. And I want to arm you with the information so that we can disarm the lies and uncover the truth.
Talk about Van Jones. He came out on Friday with a nice story about Charlie. And as I'm sure he predicted, it's now getting even conservatives to say nice things about Van. Well, I'm not one of them. Not today. And I'm going to explain to you why. I'm just going to start back before the Charlie event. Let's go back to when my life blew up at NBC News. You all know the story. So I was twisting in the wind. All these newspapers were calling me a racist because I said, like the blackface Halloween costumes, they weren't like considered cancelable back in the 70s and 80s when I grew up. When did that happen? When did that change? It's literally what I said. That's the thing that caused the big controversy. And I got, quote, canceled for it. And people literally were calling me a racist for asking that question. So Van Jones called me. He called me in the wake of that. We'd always been friendly. I was on Fox, he was on CNN, but we've been friendly. And he said, Megan, I just want to say what's happening to you is wrong. It's deeply wrong. And I want to see if you're okay. So sweet, right? Extra touching because this is a black man in media. And so he gets it. And he and I had lunch. I don't know, like we knew each other.
So again, he reached out to her and, reached out an olive branch like he did on the CNN thing. And we're nice people. We say, oh, you know what? That's very nice of him. What he said about Charlie Kirk and, saying that Charlie Kirk's a good guy and stuff like this. And she's doing a little comparison to how Van Jones did to her a few years ago versus what he's doing with Charlie Kirk now. And it's very, very fascinating.
Like we're friendly, if not true friends. And I was like, Van, this is so sweet. I really appreciate it. And he said, is there anything I can do for you?
Magic, we're getting into that today in this video too. This is going to be a long one, guys. We're going to get into that. I think we're going to get into that. Glad you brought that up.
And I said, well, if you'd write an op-ed or an opinion or say something publicly, that would definitely be helpful. And he's like, I'll do it. I'm like, wow. And I remember feeling actually relieved because I had very few defenders, if any. I had a couple on the right, but nobody on the left. And like a week went by and he hadn't done it. I'm like, I was dealing with a lot at the time. He wasn't at the forethought of my mind, but I did realize it would be a helpful thing to have come out. And I followed back up with him saying, just checking on whether that's happening. And he said, so sorry, but I changed my mind. I can't do it because I recently did a thing with Jared Kushner and now I'm getting death threats. And the FBI says I really shouldn't put myself back out there because I'm getting these death threats now. And so I can't say anything on your behalf. Okay. It's whatever. I said, no problem. Totally get it. No worries. Goodbye. Wasn't expecting anything from him in the first place. It was his offer. It was his to withdraw. But that is one of the reasons why what he's doing now around Charlie really stood out to me. So what did Van Jones do around the Charlie Kirk story? The Monday before Charlie was killed, which was the Wednesday, September 10th. So this is the Monday, the 8th. Van Jones went on CNN and attacked Charlie Kirk. He attacked him because Charlie had suggested that there was a racial motive, at least in part, in the slaying of Irina Zaratska on the light rail train in North Carolina. And the reason Charlie said that is because it had broken in the news that day that the murderer, who is black and Irina was white, said, I got that white girl. I got that white girl. It's on tape. And either Van hadn't done his homework or ignored it if he did know about it, or stupidly wrote it off as meaningless. Either way, Van went on CNN that Monday night, 2 days before Charlie was killed, and attacked Charlie as a racist for concluding race may have played a factor in this murder. And here's what Van said.
Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that. It's just pure race mongering, hate mongering. It's wrong. Then he says that if something like that had happened the other way, there'd be sweeping changes imposed on society. Where is the George Floyd Policing Act? It didn't pass. We don't know how to deal with people who are hurting in the way this man was hurting. Hurt people hurt people. What happened was horrible. Someone like Charlie Kirk, he should be ashamed of himself. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him.
Okay, so that was factually erroneous, and it was a smear. It was defamatory of Charlie Kirk. He was wrong on every front. Everything he said there was wrong. And literally every word out of his mouth was wrong. And a day and a half later, Charlie was killed. For the record, while I was on the air covering the Charlie murder live on this program, I did say, this is not Van Jones's fault. I was sure to point that out, and I maintain that position now. I do not believe Van Jones caused Charlie Kirk to get shot. But I do believe the collective leftist messaging around prominent right-wing figures is endangering them. From Donald Trump to Stephen Miller to Charlie Kirk and beyond. That is my firm belief. I'm sorry, but there's just too much evidence. I don't think my leftist friends are having to live their lives surrounded by security. Like I now am, like Ben Shapiro has been, like Michael Knowles has to, like Matt Walsh has to, like Charlie had to. I don't think they are. I don't want that for them. I don't want it for me or my friends on the right either. And constantly throwing around these terms, fascist, racist, Nazi is not okay. It's not that you don't have the right to say it. It's not that you should be arrested for it. I'm not making an argument against the First Amendment. It's that it's irresponsible. You are pouring fuel into a cauldron of hate that has now gotten one of ours killed and our most prominent leader of the Republican Party shot in the ear as one of his supporters behind him died in the arms of his family. We're not screwing around anymore. So it's not okay to go out there without any evidence that Charlie is a racist. And in fact, when you don't have your facts correct, Van, and to call him a racist on the national airwaves, it was totally irresponsible of you. It was wrong.
Preach. Sorry, guys, I had to take care of my grandson. But preach. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. Yeah, when people can't articulate an argument, they restore it to the buzzwords. Exactly. The platitudes, the headlines, the talking points. Absolutely, Solar. You don't agree with me, so I'm going to call you something from the list of bad words. Exactly. And I agree. I don't think he's the reason, Van Jones, that he was shot, but he didn't help. Van Jones is a coward. F. Van Jones. I can't stand that guy. He's one of the guys I really don't like. As a black man that has some liberal and some conservative values that want black people to succeed, he is a piece of shit. He is a very, very bad actor, man. And I think, well, she'll say it. Let's keep going. She's killing it right now.
And you have yet to undo it. You have yet to undo it. So Van Jones, then, I believe, because I don't think Van Jones is a bad man. I think he's a coward.
I disagree. He is a bad man. What he's done to the black community, keeping black people on the plantation, vilifying white people, white men in particular, lying on the airwaves every single day, telling half-truths and the like on national TV. I can't fucking stand him. He is a terrible human being. So I disagree with you on that one, Megan. Disagree with you. And there's a place for people like him, man.
Sees what happens to Charlie on Wednesday and clearly starts to panic because he's been in a very open fight with Charlie Kirk. And I believe that Van Jones thought people would turn it on him and say, screw you. You were saying terrible things. And he didn't.
Oh, man. Oh. Who's worse, Jerry? Don Lemon or Van Jones? That is a good question. I would give Don Lemon a slight advantage because he's more of a hypocrite, meaning he's a gay man that lives with a white man. He's married to a white man, which is, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. But he vilifies white people. I believe Van Jones is married to a black woman, I think. But to be hypocritical and call white men racist and all that, and you live with one and you're taking the great white pipe every night, I don't know, bro. You love, and again, all these people, man. You can be whoever you want to be with. Just be straight up. You know what I mean? And he loves the great white pipe. Don Lemon. Don Lemon, yes, exactly. So and he's a little bit more famous than Van Jones. And he's just a slimy mom. Both of them are slimy as hell. I give the slide as the on a national level, it's Don Lemon or Donna Lemonade, I like to call him, on a national level. But for me personally, I go with Van Jones, man. That dude right there, I cannot stand him, man. He's just bitch made, in my personal opinion.
Want that bad PR. And I believe at some level, because Van is not a bad man, he genuinely, of course, I accept that he felt genuinely sad that Charlie was killed. But not so sad he would go out and say, I was totally wrong about everything I said about him.
See, Megan's trying to be nice. I don't think he felt sad at all. I think he got scared. I think he got scared like, oh shit, I was just talking shit about him and calling him a racist a day and a half, 2 days, 3 days before that. I don't think he's sad one bit. He didn't give a shit about Charlie Kirk. He hated Charlie Kirk. So no, I disagree with that, Megan.
I wrongfully smeared him on CNN 2 nights before he died. He didn't do that. Instead, he comes out with an op-ed on the 9th of September, which was this past Friday. So, a week and a half after Charlie's death. And
I think she meant the 19th, not the 9th. And yeah, he didn't apologize for anything he said because they can't. They can't admit they're wrong. Again, these Democrats, Van Jones, CNN, MSDNC, nothing but crap, all these Democrats on the national, federal level, and the arms of the Democrats, the propagandists, the View and the like, they're allergic to personal responsibility and accountability. So they can't apologize because that means they're wrong. That's why they never apologize. They just move on to the next story.
A week and a half after Vance's comments, calling him a racist. And he reveals to the world that, surprise, surprise, Charlie Kirk was a good guy. In this op-ed on CNN, he posts, the headline is, Charlie Kirk DM'd me, direct messaged me before he was murdered. Here's what he said. And he goes on to talk about the fact that Charlie messaged him the day before he died, September 9th, the day after Van Jones attacked him. Hey, Van, I mean it. I'd love to have you on my show to have a respectful conversation about crime and race. I would be a gentleman, as I know you would be as well. We can disagree about the issues agreeably. And Van marvels about this. He says, unfortunately, before I could even respond, Charlie was killed, seemingly assassinated for the words he's spoken.
Saying all these nice things about him. Van Jones saying about Charlie after he died, but he was a complete opposite and giving him venom when he was alive. So which one did you really mean? Because again, these people are actors, okay? They're propagandists, they're liars, and they're paid actors. Seriously, you look at the set of CNN, it might as well be a movie set or a television show set. They're actors. So again, which one, Van Jones? Is he all the things you said about him after he died, or the one before he died when you call him a racist and a white supremacist and all that stuff? Which one, Van Jones?
The issues agreeably. And Van marvels about this. He says, unfortunately, before I could even respond, Charlie was killed, seemingly assassinated for the words he's spoken. Though the killer's motives are still being investigated. So even there, even this past Friday, after the indictment, after we knew the mother said leftist ideology, pro-trans, pro-gay, the governor saying leftist ideology indoctrinated into it, the text messages with the we knew about the boyfriend, trans, furry community, the online furry connection. Even then, what we knew was on the bullet casings, he's saying the killer's exact motives are still being investigated. He can't let it go. He's got to still pretend it's a mystery. And the reason Charlie said, hey, Van, I mean it, I'd love to have you on my show, is because Charlie had said it publicly on his show. Charlie had tweeted it. Charlie had made it public that he was inviting Van to come on his show. It was not just in a direct message. It was just Charlie had gone over the top to try to get in front of Van with his message, please come on.
And yesterday I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, said, hey, man, he didn't have to tell the story. He didn't have to show, the tweet, the text and stuff like that. But now when I'm listening to Megyn Kelly, he's only doing it to protect his ass, to show that, hey, he's a good friend. Look, he's a nice guy, and use it to spin up the story that, he's a nice guy and I have no problems with him. There's levels of dipshit. Most people have the capacity to respect the dead, even if they dislike them alive. Yes. Jay, what's up, my boy? Good to see you, brother.
You would not know that from the way Van is talking about this. You would think, he's like, my team brought it to me after he died. I was shocked. I didn't know, whatever. No, he was making it very, very public. It was a prominent news story involving you. And trust me, Van Jones definitely knows about his own media mentions. His behavior has made that clear. He goes on to say the following. It was not hard for me to condemn Charlie's murder immediately without qualification and in unconditional terms. That's true. In fact, Kirk's murder gives us all reason to come back to the table for dialogue. There's a rising tide of political violence that has already swept away his life and many others' lives from both the left and the right. Look what he's doing. No, it's your side. It's your side almost uniformly doing the violence and the killing against us. Own it. Acknowledge it. We don't know the motive, and it's really a both sides issue. Violence like this should compel people in both parties to turn down the heat, seek common ground, and look for off-ramps from the vitriol, as Kirk was doing with me the day before he died. If you are on the right, please don't give up on open debate and dialogue. Charlie didn't, I won't. And I make the same plea to folks on the left. Here he is on Anderson Cooper talking about it on Friday, SOP 15.
We were going at it online, on air, and then after he died, after he was murdered, my team called and said, Van, he was trying to reach you, man. What? And I've sat on it long enough, and I just said, you know what? We're going to Memorial Weekend for this man. We disagree. Everybody knows we were not friends, okay, at all. But you praise the good when it's time to memorialize somebody. And what he did, and I didn't even know it, was good. He was not for censorship. He was not for civil war. He was not for violence. He was for dialogue, open debate and dialogue, even with me.
We know. We all know that. I believe this is Van Jones trying to make himself look good, not trying to appeal to leftists to reevaluate Charlie Kirk.
And Jay, I agree with your sentiment, by the way, here. But like Megan is saying, you didn't apologize for the things that you said about him. You know what I mean? Apologize for it. That's all I'm saying. But again, they can't do that. They can't apologize to him because that would be an admission that they were lying. Apology means I was wrong, and Democrats will never do that. That's why he's a scum of the earth. And he's still, while he's talking about him, oh, I don't know what the motivation of the killer was. Yes, you do. Either you're stupid or you're lying. You know, and I agree with you, Jay, but I don't think it's that case with Van Jones. I think he's a fucking snake.
And here's in part why. Because you heard in the op-ed, he's not acknowledging motives, and he's both siding the violence. And he goes on to say the following on Anderson Cooper in SOT 16.
He was for dialogue, open debate and dialogue, even with me. Even with me.
If, would you have gone on his show? Would you have done
No, look, I would have probably tried to get him on your show. I mean, I wasn't trying to build his platform, but I would have called him.
So no, he wouldn't have gone. I mean, it seems clear to me he probably knew about the invitation because Charlie tweeted it and said it publicly on his show. And in addition, DM'd him. And
I didn't know that. I didn't know he tweeted it and said it publicly. I just thought it was a text. That's another reason I was like, oh, I'm going to give Van Jones some credit. You know, he didn't have to show that. Well, Charlie Kirk put it out there for the public to see. He said it out loud and he tweeted it. I did not know that when I made that video yesterday about showing the text message.
I'm not sure I believe that he only saw the DM after Charlie died either. I have to be honest. I just don't. But he didn't want to platform Charlie. He didn't want to deign to sit down with the likes of Charlie Kirk and drive viewers to his platform because he's so hateful. He's not backing off one bit of these lies about Charlie that ginned up hate around him in all pockets on the left. And who knows whether those pockets may have been in Utah as well. Not backing down. And then he drops this, SOT 17 over the weekend.
So the last thing I expected was to hear from him. In fact, we were trying to deal with the wave of death threats and racial stuff that was coming at me in the middle of that controversy. Look, I was the recipient myself of pretty caustic language from Charlie Kirk. And unfortunately, a lot of his followers were even worse than that, frankly, much worse, including racist death threats.
Here's the victimhood card. What do black people on the left do? Death threats, racism, white supremacist. Same old playbook. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk is in a coffin. But he's the victim, though. Unbelievable, man.
I'm infuriated by that. So that, now you see why I told you the earlier story. He couldn't, behind the scenes to me, I got your back. You did nothing wrong. This is so deeply wrong what's happening to you. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to stand up. And then, I can't because I'm getting death threats. I'm getting racist death threats. So I can't. Sorry. And now he calls Charlie a racist a day and a half before Charlie is assassinated by somebody said he's too full of hate. Some hate can't be negotiated out. And he says, oh, you know what? I was the victim. I was getting death threats. That's why I couldn't, I was getting death threats because of him and his supporters. This whole thing is bullshit. Let me give you a lesson, Van. Okay. You needed, forget my circumstance. What you should have done with me is say nothing or don't volunteer to do anything. And don't try to lie about your alleged death threats. And what death threats, by the way? What are the death threats? Because literally, if you're in media, you get these every day on your tweets. I mean, if you scrolled any controversial tweet I've ever sent out, you will see a few on there who threaten to rape and kill. I'm sorry, it's part of being a public figure. So what death threats exactly? Then there are other death threats that come that rise to another level where you actually have to get security involved and chase down the person who's threatening you and figure out whether they've got the means, whether they've got the location, and so on. There's a whole security ladder that you have to go through. What are you talking about? Because I don't believe you. I don't believe you had anything more than some negative Twitter mentions. This is like his tool that he goes to. Death threats against me. I'm the victim. Death threats so I can't do the op-ed. Sorry, but I want to look like a good guy. Death threats against, because of what Charlie said about me. No, you are the offender. You are the one who called him a racist, totally unjustified on CNN and didn't have the guts to take it down, take it back and correct it when you knew it was untrue. You had made the mistake. And now you want credit for telling us that he invited you on his show, that he was a gentleman, that he actually did want dialogue, that he, unlike you, was not behaving fraudulently. But you also want us to know that his people are all racist who are giving you racist death threats after you unjustifiably called Charlie a racist. I'm done. I'm sorry. This is why how do we deal with that? How do we do what he said? Oh, we got to go forward together in his little op-ed, all this stuff. Oh, we don't give up on open debate and dialogue. Turn down the heat, seek common ground, look for off-ramps. That's what Charlie did. You called him a racist? And now you're out there today saying, oh, supporters saying me, I'm the victim. Racist death threats. Don't you think Charlie got? I think Charlie got the death threats, one of which came true. That's really the only issue. I'm just like, you're not the victim. Be bold. Say what you actually mean. When you screw it up, apologize and take it back like a man. And don't fall back on alleged death threats, which is your go-to, to excuse your own terrible behavior. That's what you're doing. It's infuriating. And it's part of like an ongoing thing on the left. Just this morning on the New York Times is the Daily podcast, which you guys know I listen to, so you don't have to. Listen to how they ended it. It was all about Charlie's memorial. Listen to the note on which they ended this story.
Yeah, these people are pieces of shit. Good on you, Megyn Kelly. She went off on Van Jones, and she's absolutely correct. And yes, Jason, I saw that. I did see that. I saw that. All right, guys, let's do some spins. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're gonna watch a debate too between Brandon Tatum and Dave Smith about that country, and I have not watched this, so I want to watch that with you guys if you want to. She's on fire. Yeah, I didn't hear one lie told, by the way. And again, I'm a black man and she's a white woman. I'm not supposed to listen to her. You right? Literal wifey. Yes, absolutely. Jory, you in here? Yeah, that's the kind of woman I want, just like her. I don't care what color she is. Common sense. You know what I tell women? You know what kind of woman you need to be like? Erica Kirk and Megyn Kelly. Be a woman like that. You know what I mean? Beautiful woman, articulate, tells the truth, loves God, conservative values. I love it. All right. Toxic 102. Let's do 103 and see who wins that. Thank you guys so much for being here. Sorry, guys. It's going to be a little bit of a longer show today. That's Jay. Or Triple B's. Triple B's. Congrats. $104. Yes, Jay. Levels of dipshittery. Yes. Good game, Triple B's. Thanks, Jared. No, thank you, Triple B's. I appreciate you. Amos, are you here? Triple B, congrats. Congrats, Triple B's. Yep. Yeah, I'm loving this, man. We're going to call these people out. And again, man, we're still going to try to meet people in the middle, but not the propagandists. Not these propagandists, man. Amos, CBT. We must call these people out. I still have people in my life believe in what CNN and MSDNC is, and it's just a personal thing for me. I can't let them win. Let's go. Good game, Amos. Good game, Amos. Thanks. No doubt, brother. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. That was 104. Let's do 105. Something happened on speed. 17 sats. Thank you. $17.76. Thank you. Appreciate it. 17 and 76. Toxic Gamer again. You're the winner, sir. Congratulations, Amos. I got to turn my AC down. I'm getting a little cold in here. I got a couple of good videos for you. I was watching Candace earlier. I'm gonna show you that a little bit too towards the end. 69 sats. Thank you, whoever sent that. I appreciate it. Toxic, you still here, brother? Yep. Yay. Good job, man. Congrats. It's your second win. Not only will you guys learn the news while you're here, but you'll be able to interact. We'll talk about Bitcoin, and I'll give you some sats, man. You can't beat it, guys. Good game, Triple B's. Amos, Toxic. If you stay around, we're going to do the all or nothing game, too. Congrats, Toxic. Toxic Gamer, Toxic. What are you studying in university? Good game, Toxic. Thanks. What's good, Quinn? Lil Pen hit cheers. Yes. Let's do the next spin. Somebody just sent me something on speed again. 34 sats and 8 sats. Thank you. And 9 sats. Bunch of sats. Holy crap. Thank you. 13, 12, 9, 34, 8. Thank you very much. Turn on the AC. Hey, buddy. You okay? Good bless you. Solar Satoshi. Hey, Jer, I like the new thumbnail. Looks good. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. My daughter made that for me. Thank you, bro. Nah, I'm in high school. Oh, okay. Jason doing okay. Full on blinker for me. I am outside. I am examining in a few minutes. Okay. High school. Wow, you're a very young man. Hey, please remove me from the wheel as I have an exam in a few minutes. Bye, guys. Okay, no doubt. Good game. Solar. Congratulations, Solar. Solar, you still here, brother? Good luck, Toxic. You can do this. Yes. Good game, Solar. Solar. Ayo. Yes. Solar Satoshis. Good luck, Toxic. Bet. Quinn. Blinker check. Yep. Let's see. Toxic Gamer. Let me take him off the wheel. But we're loving life, guys. You know, we're cruising and learning and all kind of stuff. Something just happened on strike here. Our hourly buy just went through. 890 sats for $1. Jenny just came in. Thank you, Jenny. And she sent in the Jenny zap, a huge zap of 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to pretend like she didn't do the other ones. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate you. I'm gonna put you on the wheel too. Attaboy, Jason. Yo, Jerry, sorry I'm late. Did I miss all or nothing? No. Oh, Jen and Fanny Packer and Backpacker come in at the same time. Congrats, Toxic Jen. Are we in time for the big spin? No big spin. Good to see you, man. Backpacker Jen, yeah. We're watching. This is a long show today. So let me put Jen on. 1776. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. I think that was Backpacker and Fanny. Fanny Packer. I'm going to put you guys on the wheel. Jenny, legendary. Like I was saying to them, this is going to be a longer show today because I got some things to cover. Solar Satoshi. Let's put Anonymous here. And then we will put a Hodler. Let's see. Put Jenny here. Boom. Okay. Put Flipper here. Flipper. All right. Sorry I'm late. Did I miss all or nothing? What in the hell? All three of you guys coming at the same time? Lauren, what's up, bro? Zelle, you guys messing with me? Send me all those stats. All three of you guys coming in at the same time. I think it was. Hey, guys, we here in time for big spin. Hey, Backpacker, hi. You guys are up to something. I already know that. You missed us entering late like last night's crew. Yep, Fanny, Lauren, boom. But we've been lurking possibly. LOL, yeah, I know. Emily, what's good? Dang, we came too early. Man, why I always get the blame? Because you always do it. Backpacker, LMAFO, hey, VHF. Seems some folk are not happy that a bunch of Pete's rolled in last minute yesterday for the big spin. Yes. Backpacker fam, hello, guys. Welcome in, guys. Is this the all or nothing? That's all I'm ever here for. No, not all or nothing. What's up, guys? Quinn, hello. Maybe. Yeah, I know. Fanny, hello. You guys made it way too obvious. Jen and the ham. Yeah. All right. So I think we're caught up with the spins. Yep. 106. Jen and the ham. Hey, Emily. All right. Now we're going to watch a couple of videos leading up to this debate I'm going to watch. And this is what we were talking about earlier, Jason and Sin, about that certain country. So let's check it out.
That Israel was somehow implicated in 9/11. It was in their interests for that to happen because then it would lead rage against all their enemies in the Middle East and so on. But do you tackle that kind of conspiracy theory in the series?
Benjamin Netanyahu on camera right after said this is a good thing because it brings the United States into a conflict that we've been involved in on an existential level.
For context, they're talking about Israel, and Let's see. Another thing on speed. Well, 88 sats. Thank you, Jor. I think that's Jor. And he made a 9/11. Tucker made a special about 9/11, and of course, Puss Morgan is an establishment hack, and he's trying to discredit Tucker about his documentary. Who's an independent journalist, by the way, and he works for the man. So he's trying to make Tucker look stupid, and Tucker just makes him look really stupid. Check it out.
That Israel was somehow implicated in 9/11. It was in their interests for that to happen because then it would lead rage against all their enemies in the Middle East and so on. But do you tackle that kind of conspiracy theory in the series?
Benjamin Netanyahu on camera right after said this is a good thing.
He said conspiracy theories. First of all, Lauren, Jenny, Backpacker, Fanny, I really appreciate you guys. I know you guys were messing with me, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. I know you guys sent me a bunch of sats. I really, really appreciate it very much. We're going to get into some good stuff in this second half of the video. Sharon, boom, everybody. VHF, love you too, Corey. Building 7. Yes, Bill. Yes. Love you, Shannon. Sin, boom. We love ducking with you, Jerry. You know that. It's all good, brother. Effing with me, yes. It's all good. Is this a conspiracy theory?
Do you tackle that kind of conspiracy theory in the series?
Benjamin Netanyahu on camera right after said this is a good thing because it brings the United States into a conflict that we've been involved in on an existential level for decades. But he said that out loud. I'm not guessing, you can pull the tape.
Netanyahu, who once commented that 9/11 was good for Israel.
When it comes to Israelis celebrating 9/11, I remember Netanyahu on 2 different occasions said some positive things about what happened on 9/11, for the Israelis, of course.
He said to the New York Times in an interview on September 11th, it's very good.
We know that a group of Israeli art students, who clearly were not art students, clearly some of them were aligned with Israeli intelligence, were arrested and held for quite some time in the United States before being released without charges. And we know that a group of them, again, I'm quoting an FBI document here, not the internet, filmed the attacks on 9/11, and I'm quoting, seemed to have foreknowledge of those attacks.
It began when this woman was watching the Twin Towers burning from her apartment in New Jersey. She noticed 3 men on top of a van, posing for pictures with the towers burning in the background.
And I could see that they were like happy. You know, they didn't look shocked to me. You know, they didn't look shocked. I thought it was very strange.
The witness called police, who stopped the van hours later and arrested 5 men. All 5, it turns out, were Israeli. They were turned over to the FBI. Sources tell ABC News during a check of national security databases, some of the men were listed as having had connections with Israeli intelligence.
Huh. Interesting. Now let's hear what Anna Kasparian says about that certain country.
You had Anna Kasparian on this show. I've been saying for a while that I liked her because I perceived that she was being authentic, even when I disagreed with her. You had Anna Kasparian on this show. And I've been saying for a while that I liked her because I perceived that she was being authentic, even when I disagreed with her.
Well, she's authentic.
Yeah.
AIPAC is evil. AIPAC is evil, unbelievably evil. It shocks my conscience and my soul that people as evil as this exist in this world.
Do you think Israel wants to kill innocent civilians?
I do.
You think Israel generally wants to?
I do.
But leave America out of it. Our men and women in our armed forces shouldn't die on behalf of your country. The government of Israel controls the United States.
Yes, that's totally true.
It does.
No,
Let's just keep it real. I mean, come on. Most Americans do not want to go to war with Iran. And it didn't matter, okay? The United States bombed Iran's nuclear sites on behalf of Israel anyway. I get the IDF sending me pictures of their weapons, talking about how they're going to slaughter me. I'm not afraid of you. Not afraid of you, okay? All the other cowards in American media, they can F off. They're not like me. I'm different. I'm not afraid of you.
Protect that woman at all costs. And again, I don't agree with a lot of things Anna Kasparian says, but on that particular subject, you know, again, like I showed you yesterday, that's why a lot of people on the left and the right are coming together. All right, now, this is the debate I wanted to show you. I haven't watched this yet. Future Eventus, I like that saying. Yes, I'm no conspiracy theory. However, I do fancy myself as a future Eventus, yes. Again, conspiracy theories, all it means is delayed facts, guys. Water is wet. Lauren, my man. Yep. So Dave Smith and Brandon Tatum are going to go at it about this country. And you know what Dave Smith is. And Brandon Tatum, I like Brandon Tatum, but again, they might have cut the check for Brandon Tatum because he's sounding really crazy, I heard in this video. I haven't watched it, though, so let's see.
Many young people think about politics, and it's only going to get bigger. Two of our regular Uncensored contributors have locked horns on this issue, and others, like Kirk himself. They both relish a debate. I'm pleased to say that Dave Smith, host of Part of the Problem, and Brandon Tatum, better known as the Officer Tatum, both join me now. Well, welcome to both of you. No strangers to the show Uncensored, or indeed being uncensored, so it's good to have you both. Dave Smith, first of all, there is a sort of growing sense that Charlie Kirk was wrestling with the war in Gaza. He'd gone from a position of being a bit like I did, I think, of being very pro-Israel's right to defend itself, to getting increasingly concerned about the scale of what has been happening in the last few months in Gaza. What is your sense about that, and how significant is it?
Well, I mean, I think it's significant. I think it's really a fascinating story that maybe it would have been appropriate to wait a few more weeks before we really started getting into, but everyone dove into it, including the Prime Minister of Israel, right away. And I'll tell you what I know for sure, what I think most people know, is that, look, Charlie Kirk was in a different position than, say, just a commentator like Ben Shapiro or like me or you, Pierce, or he was organizing a youth movement to, support Republican candidates. And the youth are really abandoning support for Israel. And so he had a very difficult job as like the movement guy who's trying to keep a big tent going. And so he was attempting to do that. And you could see this at his last big event where I debated there, where he had speakers like Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly, who said some things, and I'm sure myself too, who said some things that really upset some of his backers and some of the more hardcore Zionists out there. And he was quite open in his interview with Megyn Kelly about talking about the dynamic that you've experienced. I had a post on Twitter that or X that went viral about you, which I believe you reposted. I did. But I was just using you, like you were the latest example in this trend, which a lot of people have experienced, where people who are generally pro-Israel, in many cases have been pro-Israel their entire lives, have an issue with something that Israel does. They go a little bit too far for them, and they start criticizing them for that, and they're immediately met with accusations of being an anti-Semite and essentially the new Adolf Hitler. And I do think that that's
yeah, the anti-Semite thing is like calling somebody a racist all the time. You keep saying it over and over and over again, and you keep spamming it, it just loses its power, if you will. And it's just like, why do they jump on everybody that disagrees with them or says anything bad about them? And that's when my eyes started opening about it. Again, I'm an American first guy, and I was like, okay, Israel, whatever. I really don't really care, to be honest with you. I'm not saying care about the people. I'm America first. I want to close our borders. I want to clean our streets up. I want to stop printing money. I want to use our federal tax dollars on fixing roads and actually doing what it's supposed to do, and people can be prosperous in our country and fix our borders and get the illegal immigrants out of here. Why are we so worried about Israel and sending so much money and energy to them?
Very jarring and often has the effect of just pushing people further away from Israel. Now, I don't think that was happening in Charlie Kirk's case, but I do think he was certainly grappling with how do you keep this movement together when the young people who you're trying to galvanize and organize are abandoning Israel at an incredibly rapid rate.
Officer Tatum, what's your response to that?
Yeah, my response is very similar. I knew Charlie very well, and I know a lot of people that know Charlie. And I think that Charlie was wrestling with this conflict. I don't think that in any way he was changing his perspective on Israel, because Charlie's love for Israel goes beyond who's running Israel, goes beyond Benjamin Netanyahu. It goes deeper. It goes to a spiritual level. And Charlie was unwavering on that. But I do think, and I know this for a fact, that he was getting a lot of pressure because the youth was abandoning Israel to a certain degree, and it bothered him, because he wanted Israel to do better with their PR to try to capture these young minds so they don't fall or be against Israel. Because
that's not the only thing, though, Brandon Tatum. That's not the only pressure he was getting from the young people. He was getting pressure from that country as well, and some of the leadership and the spokesman from that. So don't forget about that, Brandon.
Because Charlie had a deep love and respect for Israel. So he was feeling the pressure, and a lot of people can't handle that pressure. And I think that Charlie was in a unique position. Unlike me, I don't care what people say to me. I don't really care. But when it comes to Charlie, he does care about what the young people are saying, because that is the establishment of all that he worked for so many years. So I don't blame him for it, but I do know that it was the pressure that he was feeling. Megyn Kelly was feeling the pressure. And some people just, when that pressure is on, they try to move to a central point so they don't have to deal with it.
Dave Smith, there was a Tucker Carlson made a pretty powerful speech, actually.
Well, they call you an isolationist, Solar. They always have a name for something. You're an isolationist, really? So if I care about if I'm in the neighborhood, right, in my neighborhood, I say there's 250 houses in this neighborhood, which is whatever. I don't know how many houses are here. And I say, yeah, I just, I'm focusing on my family and stuff like that. And I said that to my neighbor. You're an isolationist. Huh? I'm trying to fix my fence here, man. I'm trying to fix my driveway and fix my roof. You're an isolationist. Really? Like, again, these people, it's complicated. Perhaps the most powerful people in the world happen to be you-know-what. However, that doesn't mean as a whole should be blamed for some of their ethnicity. That's very true, but nobody's saying that, man. Nobody's saying that, VHL.
So they don't have to deal with it.
Dave Smith, there was a Tucker Carlson made a pretty powerful speech, actually. I thought in many ways, certainly captivated the audience yesterday at the memorial for Charlie Kirk. But included what he described as his favorite story. Let's take a listen.
Ultimately, he was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it, and they just go bonkers. They hate it, and they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem.
Dave Smith, what did you make of that?
I don't know. I mean, I see people freaking out about this on social media today, but I think what I took from the message was that, yeah, he's telling the foundational story of Christianity and making the point that obviously Charlie Kirk was, when you're assassinating someone for the crime of trying to have open dialogue and discussion, the idea is you're trying to silence that guy. You're against this discussion taking place. And I think the point Tucker was making was that, if killing someone silenced their ideas, then the last several thousand years of Western civilization would look quite differently. And that the idea being that Charlie Kirk's his ideas are now going to have, which is I think just factually true, a larger platform and resonate with more people than they even could have in his life.
As indeed did Jesus Christ's views after his crucifixion. Officer Tatum, I mean, a lot of people are trying to spin this as Tucker Carlson being anti-Semitic, very predictable, because that's the stick used to beat anyone that does anything that may possibly be construed that way. What did you make of that part of his speech?
Well, I want to address the anti-Semitic thing. I think that people, and this is my advice to people who are Zionists or people who are Jews, you got to stop with the pushing the anti-Semitic thing every time somebody says something you don't like. You have to stop. I was just talking to a friend yesterday that said he just got bombarded with people calling him an anti-Semite because he shared a post of somebody who, may have had a difference of opinion. So that needs to stop, or you're going to lose all credibility and respect from good people that love you. Now, Tucker Carlson, when I first watched it, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think none of it. I don't really like Tucker very much, but and I do think that he has a lot of negative things to say unjustifiably about Israel, but he's entitled to his own opinion. But I can see why some people are thinking that he may have been subliminally saying things that were connecting Israel to this whole thing. Now, I don't go down the bandwagon because I can't unequivocally prove that, but I did find it interesting that he had made mention as if Charlie was really an attack or attacking the government, as if Charlie's death was directly associated with government officials. When,
yeah, you guys be safe in that storm, Sharon, Jen, all you guys, please, we love you, praying for you.
Prove that, but I did find it interesting that he had made mention as if Charlie was really an attack or attacking the government, as if Charlie's death was directly associated.
All right, Jenny. So you want me to take you off the wheel for good? All right, hunker down, ladies. Yeah, I'll take you off, Jenny. We love you. Thank you so much for all the zaps, Jenny. I appreciate you very much. So we know it was you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. No doubt. Be safe, Jen and Sharon. Yes. Yes, please. Okay. Got you.
It with government officials, when in fact it was really these narcissistic lunatics that are over medicated that hate Charlie because he's countering the arguments that we see that's pervasive on campus. The government is not taking extreme positions as the kids on campus are taking. They're brainwashed. I've been on campus. I've been to probably 40 universities. The kids on campus don't live in reality. They live in an alternate reality. They don't live like we do. We pay taxes. We have to go to.
Oh, Sharon, you leaving too? Be safe.
Word, we have to be nuanced about arguments and things that we get involved in. They are completely radicalized. So I think that people could take it a certain way, but let me tell you this. It seems as if Charlie was very good friends with Tucker Carlson. And it seems to me that Tucker Carlson can say whatever he want to say, and that may be the way he liked to grieve, but that's the way that he wanted to present himself at a ceremony. And I think people should leave it alone unless you have unequivocal evidence that he was somehow trying to do that, because you cheapen the love and respect and dedication that all of the people who spoke at the ceremony had for Charlie Kirk's life. People got to stop trying to go too deep on both sides. Let the man be loved and appreciated by everybody who was on stage, and quit trying to conjure up controversy and conspiracies.
I agree with that so far.
Can I just add to that? Because I do think there's something kind of interesting, like, because like, having a black conservative and a Jewish guy who's like a critic of Israel, there's always like some parallels that I see between those two positions. And I think maybe we could, like, across the board on all of these things, people got to just stop making accusations of bigotry based off of what you're guessing the other person was dog whistling. Like, you're saying that there was that there was a secret message hidden somewhere in what the other person said. Listen, say what you will about Tucker Carlson. I know Brendan said he's not a big fan. I love the guy. Of all the things you could criticize him for, he'll tell you how he feels. I promise.
Yeah, I love Tucker. I love Tucker Carlson. Love that guy, man.
Promise you. He'll tell you how he feels. If he has a controversial view, he'll say it. He's not hiding some view embedded in his story here. And people got to get over this, man. There's just, like, if we couldn't take one lesson away from the last 15 years, that making these accusations of bigotry to shut down conversations and making these accusations where there's no tangible evidence that they exist, they do not solve the problem of real bigotry. They make the problem much worse. And everybody should back off of that. Now, I do want to ask, though, I got to say, because as you mentioned there, you said that, your friend was being called anti-Semitic for sharing a clip of what someone else thought. And listen, man, we don't know each other, but literally the only interaction we've ever had is you called me, I think, a devil and one of the worst people in America the other day, also for sharing a clip
disgusting.
of somebody else.
No.
Devil,
that's great. I'm glad you brought it up, because there's a reason why I said that. It's not that I somehow mentioned something about you just in passing. You shared a post of one of the most disingenuous, evil individuals that I've ever seen online. Nick Fuentes shamed Charlie. Ever since 2017, he would come out, harass, accost Charlie at events. He would harass his wife. Him and the gropers would harass my wife because she's white. And this guy said that Charlie is a fake Christian and he's disgusting and he should never be able to be on campus without being shouted down. And then he comes out and makes a fake apology. And I felt like you supported that. And then also, my art with you. I had never met you before. I disagree with you on Israel, but I respect that you come with your opinions. But when you were on stage at SAS and you chastised those young people and said they can never claim to be pro-life ever again because they support a genocide, I thought that was the most disgusting thing that any adult man could say to young kids who was just seeking the truth and openly listening to a debate between you and another individual. So the only reason I said that is based on those principles alone. I don't know you personally, but I thought that was disgusting. And anybody who support that Nick Fuentes guy who shamed my friend, who's now dead, it bothers me to no end.
Dave?
Okay, well, look, I mean, again, I said I give him all the credit in the world for this. And what was this? This was after Charlie Kirk was killed, him saying that he was a good man, that he's praying for his soul, and urging his supporters not to be violent in response to this. And I got to say, I thought, as I think many of us did immediately after Charlie was killed, and after your first reaction of feeling so horrible on a personal level for his family, you realize this is a very dangerous situation. And I got to say, for Nick Fuentes, being who he is, to have him telling his audience, hey, if you respond at all with violence to this, I completely disown you. We need to be Christians about this. We need to be peaceful. We should be praying for him and his family. I give him credit for that. Whatever other beef you got with him, that's between you two. I didn't say I agree with the guy on everything he's ever said. Well, hold on. Let me just respond. I didn't endorse everything the guy's ever said. I said I give him all the credit in the world for this, and then shared the clip of this. Pretty clear what I was saying. And by the way, I didn't chastise the kids at Charlie Kirk's event. I warned them. I warned them that if you're supporting the destruction of a captive, stateless people in Gaza right now, that you will never be able to claim to be pro-life again without being rightfully viewed as the biggest hypocrite in the universe. That's an opinion that I will gladly defend. And I noticed in there, you're not actually taking on that argument. You're just telling me how disgusting I am for having it. So listen, man, I think that if there's one thing Charlie would have wanted, it probably would have been for us to have this conversation without devolving into insults. You can say it's disgusting if you want to. I think there's a pretty strong argument for my point there. I think it's kind of undeniable. There's a real conflict between being pro-life and then also supporting a policy, the price tag of which is tens of thousands of slaughtered babies, children.
So far it's Dave Smith for me. I got Dave Smith right now. You know what I mean? And I like Brandon Tatum sometimes for certain things, you know, in the black community and stuff, but some things I disagree with him on. You know what I mean? And again, that's good that we can be together. And Dave Smith is not he's not a Republican. He's not conservative. He's a libertarian. And I agree with what he's saying. I listen to a lot of libertarian dudes, by the way. Hi, Fanny. Hi, Lauren. Jor, what's good? So I got Dave Smith so far.
On that point, Officer Tatum, let me, I will let you respond, but let me just put that directly to you, because one of the reasons I've become...
Yeah. Him and Charlie are in a... Dave is a big corner. Yes. Yes, he is. I don't know if Brandon is, though. I want to say he is, but I don't know. But yeah, I love Dave Smith, man. 42 sats. Thank you so much, whoever sent that. I appreciate it. But Dave Smith, and again, I do like Dave a little bit more than Brandon Tatum. So full disclosure, of course, I have my bias, but right now he's making more sense. And again, he's bringing the receipts like Sin said.
Increasingly critical of Netanyahu's government. And you interviewed Netanyahu a couple of weeks ago on your YouTube show. And we'll play a clip from that in a moment. But one of my, and he won't do my show, just for the record, since the war started. Because I think one of the reasons he won't do me is because I would say to him, you're not achieving any evil war aims. You know, you're not getting the hostages released. In fact, if anything, I'd say you're imperiling their lives more every day this goes on. You're not defeating Hamas. That much is clear. You're causing endless more devastation. Your cabinet right-wing members like...
By the way, this is another I agree with Pierce Morgan on. He has a lot of common sense with this. Again, a clock is right. A broken clock is right twice a day. And I agree with him on this subject, this and about the transgender women or men playing in women's sports.
Smodrich, Ben-Gvir and others, they're talking openly about ethnically cleansing all the Palestinians. You know, are you not concerned, Officer Tatum, with a fair-minded head about this, that actually it is no longer about a retaliatory self-defensive strike for what happens on October the 7th, but part of a much bigger plan, which many on the hard right in Israel have harbored for a long time, to displace Palestinians from their home in Gaza and from large swathes of the West Bank? Does it not concern you?
Okay, great question. Let me address a few things. I think that Nick Fuentes is disingenuous, and I felt like Dave Smith is intelligent enough, and I'm not challenging your intelligence, but I believe that you can see through the bullcrap on so many other people, and I felt like you should have seen the bullcrap through Nick Fuentes, because he's just saying that to save face now that Charlie is dead, and all the way up to his death, he shamed him. When it comes to the pro-life situation, there's a very big difference between articulating whether a person believes that life starts at conception, not perception, versus a person disagreeing with urban warfare and the way that Israel's carrying out their attacks in Gaza. That's two different things. They should not be conflated. When it comes to my concerns for Benjamin Netanyahu and his tactics in Israel, or his tactics against Gaza, there's a few things here. I think that Benjamin Netanyahu, and because the nature of the interview wasn't really a debate, it was more so me asking him questions that my audience wanted me to ask him and him putting the answers out there, and people can debate that. But I think a lot of people that I know in Israel, including myself and others that are staunch Zionists, think that he is prolonging the war too long and is causing too much damage and irreversible reputational damage. He should have ended it sooner, and he should have went harder. In America, if we had faced such brutality, rape, people getting their heads cut off, I saw videos of people getting their heads cut off, we would have been swift within 48 hours. would have caused the most damage that you've ever seen to a country in world history. And Netanyahu, for whatever reason, is capitulating, in my personal opinion, to his own personal image, and that he don't want to look bad. He don't want to be shamed. He don't want people to say that he's committing a genocide. So he's playing in the middle for too long. 2 years of this war is too much. He should have eliminated Hamas immediately, and he should not worry about the naysayers. He's darned if he do, he's darned if he don't. He is not committing a genocide in Gaza. I think that's disingenuous at best, because no one committing a genocide would be giving food or aid to a people that they're trying to kill. They would not be sending leaflets and advising people of buildings that they're going to tear down. The population has grown in Gaza from 1948 all the way up until today. 500,000 they started with. They're at 2 million at this point. When did the genocide start? There is no genocide. People can argue the tactics that Netanyahu is displaying in Gaza, but you cannot be superfluous.
And that's where the divide comes in, right? The people that are Zionists, like he said, believe there's not a genocide. People like himself, Dave Smith, Candace Owens, and Tucker Carlson, and a lot of other people on the right. This is where a big split is coming from the right and the libertarian parties. Not the hard right, but the soft right that are not, Zionists, think that there is a genocide in Gaza. I want to know what do you guys think? Do you think there's a genocide? Do you think it's a genocide, or are they just trying to clean up Hamas and get rid of Hamas? Because he just thinks they're just trying to, it's just casualties, and we're not trying to kill our own people. We're just trying to kill the people in Hamas, and because Hamas is intertwining with people in Israel or whatever, or the Palestinians or whatever, to try to hide. But according to other people, it is a genocide. So, and I think Dave Smith is going to say they're a genocide. But what do you guys think?
And add these arguments that seems to, in my opinion, be anti-Semitic in many ways. It's not, these people are terrorists, and not the Gazan people, the regular everyday individual, the terrorist group that came into a country and attempted to commit a genocide.
Yes, I watched some of it, and we're going to watch a part of that today. I didn't watch the whole thing, though. My daughter watches it, and she sums it up. But we are going to watch something on that today, Backpacker. I didn't see it. Was it good? Yeah, we're going to watch some of that. I don't have enough info, but I would lean towards you.
Genocide against Israel. They would have committed a genocide against Israel to a large proportion if it wasn't for the IDF and if it wasn't for the Iron Dome. Let's not.
Because what's happening is this: if you're somebody that's conservative, because this is what I got caught up in. Let me just say this real quick, and I'll admit when I'm wrong or whatever. Right? Really, really good video. Yes, it was. Based on the connections I made. Yeah, I thought that Israel was the good guys and Hamas was the bad guys. And I'm not saying Hamas is the good guys, okay, when I say this. Let me preface it. But there's two sides of bad, two coins of the bad side. I don't know, maybe something to both arguments. However, the Ron Paul in me says we need to mind our business. That's what I'm saying. But if, we're doing certain things and we're spending an amount of money and sending this and that and spending so much, stuff on destroying Iran and doing this and doing that. Because what I used to think, guys, honestly, when it came to the Middle East, was this. We used Israel as kind of like a, how can I say this? Kind of like an aircraft carrier. Just to sit there and go, we need Israel, and, they're our allies and they work for us. And, but a lot of people are saying that's the opposite. We work for them and this, that, and the third, right? But when it comes to this situation with Israel, I would think, okay, Hamas is the bad guys. But when it first happened, the 9/11 of Israel, my question was this: how, with all the Iron Dome, the very, very secure border, the 19-year-olds with AR-15s and everything else, knowing that they're going to be attacked, how did they let Hamas come in for 6 hours with impunity, come in, number one, from land, sea, and air, okay, all at the same time, and then be there for 6 hours and then leave? How did that happen? And like Charlie said, was there a stand down order? Again, I don't know. Now, our 9/11 was a little bit different. They did it a different way. But when you have a country that is completely on guard all the time, because again, America is different because we don't have countries surrounding us or enemies. We got Canada and Mexico. But we don't have that kind of stuff. We don't have to worry about that. We're very, very fortunate and blessed with that. But when you see Hamas doing that, it almost looks like they try to paint them out to be the bad guys. And I'm not saying they're not, okay? But it made it seem like, oh, well, these are bad guys. We got to help them. We got to help them. Kind of like the Bin Laden, WMD situation. And when I look at it from that point, when you're not even thinking about Israel, because I was not, I was thinking about, man, we got to clean up America. No offense, October 7th, 2023. I knew that was a big deal, but we got a wide open border here. I'm looking at it from that standpoint. But now that I'm, not campaigning and all this stuff, and I'm listening, to Candace Owens sometimes talking about what she's talking about, and then I see Mr. Kirk get killed, and then I hear about some vans going over to the young man's house, some strange cars going to the young man's house, Tyler, the alleged shooter's house, and the way Israel's coming out and saying it's not us, it's not us, it's not us. It's just like, what's going on here, man? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, what's up? Trump is being controlled by this country and this man. I'm just like, what's going on, man? You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at with it. So, let's see, Corey, yes. I mean, it's obvious that they want them off that land, but where are they going to go? None of the other countries want them either. It's sad, but true, yes. Heck yeah, I'm going to mind my own business. Yeah. I've been so confused about the whole Israel-Gaza dispute. Who are we supposed to be in favor of again? Yeah, exactly. I ain't in favor of either side. They both despicable. Me too. I just want to worry about America. But when we see people always talking about it, I'm like, all right, what the hell's going on over here, man? I wonder who orchestrated these two events. Good question. It depends on what side of 1947 wants to answer that question exactly. Do the Canadians even have guns, eh? I'm so over all this BS. America first, exactly. It was probably Osama. Yep. They don't even know it's genocide for one to be chosen to be the chosen true children of God, Allah. Yes. Yeah, Sharon B. There you go, backpacker. I got to run. You can take me off the wheel, no doubt. The hell with all those other countries. Me too. Sharon, we got all of our for sure. Yep.
Regular, everyday individual. The terrorist group that came into a country and attempted to commit a genocide against Israel. They would have committed a genocide against Israel to a large proportion if it wasn't for the IDF and if it wasn't for the Iron Dome. Let's not forget they shot 4,000 missiles into Israel. They tried to kill everybody. The IDF is going in strategically. I wish that people had not died. I wish that they could end the war so there's no suffering. I wish that Hamas wasn't stealing food. The UN confirmed that 96% of all the aid is being looted. I wish that Hamas wasn't doing those things. I wish that Hamas would take the approach of Israel, which means when the rockets go flying into Israel, the people go into bomb shelters. When rockets go flying into Gaza, the terrorists go into bomb shelters, and they make their people stay above ground to be the blunt force of what they receive in a war that they started for no reason. Hamas knew they could never beat the IDF in Israel. Why did they start the war? Why did they initiate conflict? Why did they rape people and do things like that and videotape it? Why do they still have hostages? And
you know the unpalatable answer, Officer Tatum, I'll come to Dave Smith as well, but the unpalatable answer to that, maybe they did it precisely to goad Israel into a massive overreaction, which would...
Trey, how you doing, man? It's a longer video today. I'm covering some stuff. We're doing good, man. We're about to spin the wheel here in a little bit. But we're watching Dave Smith and Brandon Tatum talk about that other country. But it's just really good to know this stuff, man. Good to see you, Trey.
Then make Israel and its government in particular hugely unpopular around the world to the extent that the United Nations is convening today with the UK declaring a state of Palestine. They're going to be followed by other countries. Only really America and Israel's opposing this. But it may well be that Hamas, being a bunch of evil terrorists, thought if we do this, Israel will massively overreact. They don't care about their own people dying. That's completely obvious. And it could well play into our longer term game plan. Who knows? But it could be that. In which case, they felt they'd fallen for a hideous sucker punch. Dave Smith, your response to, lots to unpack there, but your response. And then also taking in this news today about countries like the UK, declaring there is a state of Palestine.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think Brent kind of almost hit every single talking point there. So I don't know. I mean, I've been knocking all these down for...
Talking points, platitudes. He hit them all. And and again, Dave Smith is not a guy to mess with. He's talking to a regular audience. He knows all the time. He's Jewish. This is a Jewish American talking about Israel. And not for nothing, he's a little over his skis with this guy right here. Okay? you know, and I'm not saying Dave Smith doesn't know a lot about the black community, whether he probably does, but that's like him trying to argue with Brandon Tatum about the black community. I just think he's a little over skis with Dave Smith. I think Dave Smith's about to tear him up right here.
State of Palestine.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think Brent kind of almost hit every single talking point there. So I don't know. I mean, I've been knocking all these down for years on your show here. The bottom line is just that it is just, look, to sit here and say that even as you say, obviously, Pierce, it's not like Hamas had to be rocket scientists to figure this out. This is what terrorism is. It's asymmetrical warfare. The action is in the reaction. Osama bin Laden didn't think he could take down the United States of America by taking out our towers. He thought he could lure us into a war in Afghanistan and that might bankrupt us. It was the plan that our CIA coached him through in the late 70s and early 80s with luring the Soviets into Afghanistan. And so the idea that, and look, we did it. We blew $8 trillion in the Middle East since then. And so that's the idea here. And Israel's completely fallen into the trap. But of course, the reason why that Israel has done irreversible reputational damage, the reason why people are abandoning supporting this is really just twofold. Number one, it's clearly not in America's interest. And number two, this is just indefensible. Even if you say that, hey, look, Hamas goes down into the bomb shelters and leaves the civilians up there to be bombed. Okay, but then ain't there a moral question about whether it's the right thing to do to just drop those bombs on the civilians when you know the terrorists are down in the towers? Hold on, you had a chance to go through all this stuff. So
I know, but I want you to, can I just
you just went off on every talking point.
And I'll shut up. No, just explain that
okay,
to
but
me.
I'm just going to finish. I'm just going to finish. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to finish what I did. Well, what they should do is embrace a two-state solution. Ultimately, they should stop occupying a people as they've been
done
doing
it 5 times, and the Arabs rejected
it. No, they haven't. This okay now.
5 times, and the Arabs rejected it.
Yeah, I get it. I know you're going to hit every Hasbro talking point. That's not true.
There's been
lots of books. No, it's not. It's a talking point. It is not true. The Palestinians have never once been offered a full-fledged state. There is not one of those 5 times that they were ever offered a full state. Even, by the way, that's not even your own Hasbro talking point. You're supposed to say 97% of what they wanted, which also is a lie. The point is that it does.
Like the great Charlie Munger says, never make an argument or debate with someone coming from your standpoint if you don't know the other side's standpoint better. If you don't know the other side. And believe me, Dave Smith knows the other side of the argument. So everything that Brandon Tatum is saying, I would say Jason Tatum, basketball player, Brandon Tatum saying, he already knows what he's going to say before he says it. So he's used to talking to people that are not that smart, conservatives, you know, some black people or whatever, and he'll do his talking points. He'll get his check from AIPAC. Just saying. And he's like, bro, I know these people, man. I know exactly what they're doing. Like, what are you talking about right now? You sound like an idiot.
No matter what you're going to say here, Israel propped up Hamas for years to keep them in power so that Netanyahu could thwart the creation of a Palestinian state, to then use them as a justification for mass slaughtering a captive people that you have kept stateless for 60 years is morally indefensible. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had to actually paint the full thing out. When I was talking about the pro-life analogy, yes, being pro-life is about believing that life begins at conception, but baked in there is also the assumption that you think it's wrong to murder kids. Like the point is that yes, if you're pro-life, then you
right
also
to murder kids.
Yes, but you're supporting a policy that is doing just that.
There's no policy to murder kids. It's urban warfare. Unfortunately, people die. There's no policy that says you should murder kids in this.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, that is. Look, when you make a decision to drop a bomb on a building where you know there are children inside of it, yes, morally speaking, you murdered those children.
Phone calls. You've told them
so the
to
leaflets
evacuate.
Make it not murder. Okay. So how about when they don't?
There's no
How about
intent.
this last attack?
There's no
How
intent
about,
to
hold
murder
on.
them.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Follow up. How about when they don't? What about when they don't drop leaflets? What about when they don't have evacuation orders? They just did this in Gaza City yesterday. How about that? Is that now murder?
Well,
I
they
just
don't
took
have
away
to.
your excuses.
No. I could give you an example. They don't have to drop leaflets and give phone calls if they're
So then why are you
operating
bringing
out of
that up?
I'm saying when you're shooting weapons and Hamas is firing weapons and using it as a military base, they don't have to give leaflets to give evacuation. It's that if it's a civilian building or something where they can eliminate having casualties, they will do that to the best of their ability. But there's some instances where they can't give notification because Hamas is operating out of these hospitals, operating out of mosques. And they have to do what they have to do in this warfare.
They have to. No, they don't. They actually don't have to.
What should they do then? What should they do?
By the way, I love
what
Pierce.
should they do?
I love Pierce. I think it was Aaron Matei who coined this phrase. I could be wrong about that. But someone said the entire Israeli case rests on you saying that Nothing justifies October 7th, but October 7th justifies anything. Like nothing. There's you're sitting here. Yes, look,
What
you
should they
can
do,
pick one
Dave?
side or the other. You 1 second. You can pick one side. Just I'll answer that question, but just interrupting my point with that question over and over again is just so I can't make my case.
Exactly. Like George said, when they start talking loud and they start interrupting you, because Dave just sat there and let him talk his talking points. He said, okay, I'll just knock these down. But then Brandon just keeps interrupting them. Exactly. Evacuate. Where do they go exactly? Where do they go? And again, if they don't hand out those pamphlets to tell you that they're bombing the buildings or whatever, is it murder then? Yes, it's murder both ways. In my personal opinion, Quinn, basically once Obama got elected, everything went to obviously subjective. Yes. Emily, she was so soft and smelled like an old lady. She was a love bug too. I had to set the phone down and preach her, no doubt. Why did I use obviously twice? I don't know. The winner, that's life. Animals know what's up. Human, bonafide retards, exactly. Quinn. Hanging out pamphlet. What is this? 1994, exactly. Exactly.
There is no, you can go tit for tat here. There's been terrorism on both sides. Israel has been occupying Gaza and the West Bank /or controlling Gaza and the West Bank since 1967. There's going to be resistance to that. And then for you to say that resistance now justifies us slaughtering people by the tens of thousands, destroying all of Gaza is just, there's no logic in it. There's no morality in it. What should Israel have done? Number one, Benjamin Netanyahu should have resigned on October 8th. After his plan to prop up Hamas, being this genius right-winger that I'm going to keep Hamas in power because, in his words, he could control the height of the flame, and this will balance things and thwart a Palestinian state. When that blew up in his face, he should have resigned in disgrace that day. They should have had a real investigation about what actually happened on October 7th. Our late friend had some questions about that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
They should have really looked into that, which would.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And just as a reminder, see if I can find it here. This is what the great man had to say about it. Let's see. Is it this one? People are cool. Let's see. Hold on. This was a couple of days after. Let's see. Let's see. Are we? Where is it at? Is this it? Sorry, guys. I thought I had it in here. Let's see if it's this one.
So when I learned about what happened to Charlie.
No. How did I label that one? I don't know where I put it. We heard it before. We know what's up. But completely agree with him right now. Why did you Quinn hanging out? Yes. Who is going to investigate the folks who Trump said presented him with a broken teleprompter and janky escalators today? Exactly. Who? Yes. And again, we need to investigate a lot of stuff, man, that they don't, including this election, the 20 what election from 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and a lot of things.
We've never gotten to the bottom of. And then they should have done surgical strikes, targeted assassinations, as Israel has always done throughout their entire history with the terrorism problem. They have
surgical strikes, not just bombing buildings with people in it. Surgical strikes.
Never, until Netanyahu, treated it as a problem for the regular old army, and it should have culminated in a real peace process. They should have said, we are going to take out the people responsible for this by targeted strikes, and at the end of that, we're ending the occupation. We're giving all of East Jerusalem, all of the West Bank, and all of Gaza to the Arabs. It's their decision what they want to do in the future, but if we are attacked, we will treat them as a foreign nation and go to war with them. That's what the response to October.
And by the way, Officer Tatum,
this.
I think the biggest mistake Netanyahu has made, of many actually, in terms of tactics and strategy, was the attack in Doha, which failed. It didn't kill any of the Hamas commanders, but the amount of fury that has created amongst the Arab countries, from Saudi Arabia, the UAE and others, but also apparently, according to Haaretz, amongst Mossad, who are absolutely furious about that attack on one of America's main allies in the Middle East, somewhere with 10,000 American troops in a base there, to just attack with impunity Qatar and to attack people who were at that moment deliberating over a potential peace plan, and then to fail anyway. So you cause all the mayhem without achieving the goal. It seemed to me symptomatic of where Netanyahu's got to. He's not achieving any of the goals here. He's just making things worse and worse.
I think that one could argue that. I'm not disagreeing. I think that there needs to be an investigation into it and figure out what should we do and what should we not do. America knew that he was going to do the attack. There's no way in the world Israeli jets can fly through airspace without America knowing about it and do that attack. So America gave the green light pretty much. And then we go, I want to go back to some of the things that Dave Smith said. You know, it sounds cute to act as if they're just indiscriminately bombing people. They're doing strategic strikes. They have to get approval to do strikes. We know that they're doing it. People don't like it. It's ugly. I get it. I hate that it's happening. I would have ended the war in 48 hours and it would have been a mass casualty situation. However, we would have been done quicker and it would have been 2 years. The two-state solution idea, why are we lying to ourselves? They don't want a two-state solution. They want Israel to be absolved. They do not want a Jewish state. They made it clear, I don't know for how many years. Netanyahu, they removed Jews from Gaza and gave it to them. And what did they do in return? They elected a terrorist organization that extracted funding and resources from them to build tunnels to create terrorism against Israel. They cannot live in peace with these people. They continue to fight against Israel and the Jewish state. And I don't understand why we're acting as if that's not so. They've given them their own sovereignty to a certain degree. Imagine if they had their own
Officer
state.
Tatum, do you think, Officer Tatum, that Palestinians should have the same rights, human rights, as Israelis?
Let me put it in perspective.
It's a yes or no.
I will. Let me get to it. I will.
No, you can't equivocate.
Answer it.
You either believe that or you don't. The reason I'm asking you, it's so central.
Let me start with your. Let me answer your question first.
It's so central.
Let me answer your question first. Yes.
Okay. Good.
The answer is yes.
Good.
But let me articulate that there was a war fought, and Israel won the war, so they don't have to do anything for anybody.
Wait, what war? What war are you talking about?
1948. Was that not a war that was fought? They got attacked on all sides.
There's been many wars since then.
The two-state solution. After they rejected the two-state solution, a war was fought, they won. Every war that has been fought, Israel has won. They've been victorious. They don't owe Palestinians anything, but they're peaceful people.
Which war gave them the right?
They don't owe them. They don't owe Palestinians anything.
Right. Yeah. No. Actually, I mean, they only owe them what we all owe each other, I suppose. But what?
I mean,
war
you can make that argument, but that's not a real argument.
Yeah, it is. What war did Israel win that gave them the right to occupy the Palestinians in perpetuity for all of history?
Let's bring into it. Well, first of all, I don't know why you think it's an occupation. Jews have lived in Israel since the beginning of time, never ceasing to exist in Israel. They were the majority, became the minority.
Yes,
they
those
never
two
ceased to
things
exist
are not related at all.
Let me finish. Let me finish. What I'm saying is that
I think it's an occupation because it's a military occupation.
What I'm saying is that Jews have entitlement to the land. Palestinians don't have exclusive entitlement. So when a war is fought, the Jews can make the decision of what they do with Palestinians or not. Just like in America, we can say what we want to do with the Native Americans or not. Let me finish my point and I'll answer your question.
Okay, sure.
Just real quick, it'll be a couple seconds. But because we have humanity and dignity, we allow for Native Americans in America to have reservations and we support them in all of the above. Because Israel and Jews have dignity, they allow them to have swaths of the West Bank and they allow them to have Gaza, where they elected their own government system. Now, do Israel have control? I see why. Can't you see? If they had absolutely no control, they had no idea what was coming in through the southern border, through the sea, how much more of a terrorist attack would we see in Israel? It would be even more massive. So I understand that. But when they were offered a two-state solution, why did they reject it?
All right, Dave.
Again, I don't know what period of time you're talking about, what war you're talking about, but so here's a major difference. You might notice this, Pierce, between Native Americans, say in the United States of America. You know, they have citizenship and voting rights, and so at a certain point, if you're going to say okay, yes, that's right. Now, how about the Palestinians living under Israeli control in the West Bank? They do not have citizenship or voting rights, and so if
they don't have citizenship in Israel.
Right,
they
and
do.
Israel's the government that's
elections.
Controlling.
They have elections, don't they?
Listen, Brennan, think about what you're advocating for. That's not you're not addressing the point here. They don't have citizenship in that. You just said that, hey, you understand why Israel is going to control these areas because in your estimation, there'd be more violence if they didn't control these areas. Now, I disagree with that estimation, but whatever. Okay, but then you're saying Israel has control, and these people don't have citizenship or voting rights in Israel. If Israel is controlling Gaza and the West Bank, and they've got got millions of people there who don't have citizenship or voting rights, don't have any say in that government. What would you call that? By the way, we could maybe, I mean, I could make the argument that there'd be less crime if we just occupied high crime black neighborhoods in America, stripped all the people of their voting rights, of their civil rights, of their natural rights, and we just had a military occupation. But I think we would all accept you're not allowed to do that to people because we're like
Dave, your argument
living
is
in the
not a real
post-enlightenment.
Your argument is not a real argument. They
You
don't
keep saying
control
that, but you can't take
Gaza.
it on.
Hey, listen, okay, let's
Yes,
give it. If they actually
Israel doesn't control Gaza.
No, if
Who
they actually
does?
control Gaza, okay, let me answer. If they actually control Gaza the way you're saying it, they would have never elected Hamas, and they would have never built tunnels, and they would never stole funding and manipulate the people, and they would never treat women the way they do,
Why?
and they would never throw people
Why
off
would they have
buildings.
never done that?
If
Why would they have
Israel
never done that if what I'm saying is true?
If Israel controlled them, they don't control them. They left them to their own devices.
Okay, so just to be,
and in the
okay,
West
so let's
Bank,
just be very clear.
the PLO
Right.
has manipulated the people. That's why they have a separate election
Yes.
in Gaza, because the PLO had manipulated the people in the West Bank, and they didn't want that governance. So they are governing
Sure,
themselves.
okay.
However, you will never see. I've been to Israel. You will never see Jews in Palestine, or what you call the West Bank. You will never see them in Gaza. But there are hundreds of thousands of Arabs and Palestinians that work in Israel. I was there. I saw it. I'm even surprised October the 7th
nobody's denying
happened.
that. No, yeah, everybody knows. Israel's
What
been
I'm saying is that
20%,
what I'm saying is
Palestinian
that
for its entire
Israel
existence.
is not treating Palestinians the way that people are acting like they
Okay,
are.
I want to.
They gave them freedom.
Okay,
and
I've got to
nothing to do with
listen.
anything.
I've got to wrap
treating
things.
them like-
I've got to wrap things. But I wanted to ask Dave
Yeah.
one question before we wrap. It's just this: this decision by the UK and other countries to declare a state of Palestine has been, ridiculed by Israelis as simply playing into Hamas's hands, giving them a reward for October the 7th. Is it meaningful to you at all?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's somewhat me. I mean, look, it's obviously a gesture more than anything else, but I do think it's significant that there's at least the feeling that there's a need to make the gesture. I think is a result of public opinion shifting so greatly on this. But I got to say to this, look, first of all, I'll just say a couple things. Number one, right after 9/11, it was Colin Powell, the wisest member of George W. Bush's government, which is not saying much, who went to George W. Bush and said, "You got to do a two-state solution now. Like, you have record high approval ratings. 9/11 just happened. This is the time we can get it done." And the reason Colin Powell said that was not because he wanted to give the Palestinians something, but because he knew that this was right at the center of the cause of why there's so much hatred for Americans in the Muslim world. And that we had every single president of my lifetime, with the exception of Trump, wanted a two-state solution. None of them could ever get it done. None of them could ever get it done, in large part because of the enormous power of the Israel lobby in the United States of America.
The Arabs rejected it. Israel agreed.
I know. We heard you say that. Anyway.
No, you need to talk about that.
You're
Israel
wrong,
agreed
but
to every single two-state solution.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay.
Because you're telling me I'm wrong?
I actually, you know what?
For the 15th time, you're 100% wrong. Benjamin Netanyahu, the longest-serving prime minister, the longest-serving prime minister in Israeli history, has made at the center of his entire career thwarting a Palestinian state. He has said this in his own words over and over again. You don't know what you're talking about if you think
lying.
that Israel has just been trying.
Check.
No,
People
you're
that are
just
watching
dumb.
this fact check.
You don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Now you want to attack
You're
me.
calling me a liar.
Address the
you're calling
issue.
me a liar, dude, and you're full of shit.
Because it's factual.
I'll tell you, opposite takes. Wait a second. I actually think.
I did what?
If you want, I actually think. Listen, opposite Tatum. I've interviewed Bill Clinton a number of times, and he was emphatic about the fact the closest they came was when he says Arafat walked away from what many people now see was probably the best deal that was ever going to be on the table. I also think the assassination of Rabin was one of those moments from which I don't think anything has ever really recovered from that. Killed by an extremist on his own side. Right?
By a Netanyahu fan.
Right,
Yeah.
and that may well be one of the reasons Netanyahu doesn't want to go down the same road. We just don't know. He acts in self-interest and everything else. Look, I've got to leave it there. I've got to leave it there. I'm sorry. It's been a great debate. You guys have been great. I really appreciate it, but I have got to move on. Thank you both very much indeed.
Wow. Called the man dumb. He called him a liar, called him dumb. What do you guys think about that? I thought that was interesting. I like both of those guys, but I definitely like Dave Smith more. But we'll see. All right. We got something else to show you, too, here in a minute. But we're going to do some spins. Yeah, Jay, it's crazy, man. I love a good debate. All right, 107. Let's see who can win this. And then we're going to get into some Charlie Kirk stuff about who shot him. And I got a good video for you guys to watch. We're going to watch that. I told you it's going to be a little longer show. Sean, you're the winner. Congratulations. I got a very interesting video I want you guys to watch. One sounded like he was a little controlled. Yes, exactly. By a certain country. Yes. That's what I'm saying. I think I like these kind of debates. They're good and healthy. You know, if you got your own side and you know what you already know and stuff like that. But I like it because I learned from very, very smart, high level people by a certain country. Gang, gang, people, Pepe. Yes, I love Dave Smith more. Me too. Me too. Gang, gang, Pepe. Yay. Yes. Go on, Pepe. Casey. The debate was epic. I loved it. In my country, there is a problem. Good game, Sean. Those APAC checks a little differently. Those APAC checks. Hey, Emily, Sean, say you a fool. Can we start watching Charlie Kirk vids? Can we start watching real Charlie Kirk vid? He has a ton of good discussion, gives good response to the mainstream BS. Yes, I have a ton of those. We can. We'll teach people how to respond to the buzzwords. Yes, we can. I'm glad you said that because I'm downloading a bunch of them. So I'm doing that now. Thank you for the reminder. By Sacha Baron Cohen. Yes. Sin, LOL. Yep. All right, 107. Let's do 108. Matter of fact, when I take commercial breaks, I'm going to play Charlie Kirk in the middle. Flip. Game over. Good man, no doubt. Flipper, you're the winner. You are the winner. We know we love some Flipper.
I'm Flipper. This is Old Slip. And I just want to say good morning to all of you and have a great day and keep on stacking those sats. Buckaroo salute. Woo!
Cuteness Incorporated. Like Sin said. Cuteness Incorporated. God, that little girl. Too cute. All right, 109. Flipper. So cute, isn't she? Isn't she? She says thank you, Jerry, no doubt. Benjamin's all about the Benjamins. You're the winner. Flipper, good game. Just give me a time. Take a little 3-4 minute break while we watch Charlie. You want to learn stuff, man. Just watch Charlie Kirk clips. This man knows a lot about a lot of different things, man. You know what I mean? He's just brilliant, man. He's so brilliant. And so is Dave Smith, right? Dave Smith's a smart guy, man. Congratulations, Benjamin. You still here, brother? Got to be here to win. Ban. I know there's 28 here, but there's a lot of people on the wheel. So let me know. Sorry, guys, for the length of the show, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and I just wanted to go through it with you guys. You know what I mean? Going on 3 hours. Jesus. Benjamin, you here, brother? Looks like you're not. All right, we'll give you a second. Let's do 110. While Benjamin figure out if he's here. George isn't here, Sharon says. I don't think he is either. I got a good video for you next. LOL Cabron. You're the winner, sir. You are the winner. Are you here? I don't think Benjamin's here. So let me take Benjamin off. We'll go back in time. LOL Cabron. Good game, LOL. Congratulations. Yep. Flipper sent you a video on Signal. Okay. Let's see. Looks like Cabron's not here either. Oh my God, look at this girl. She's so freaking cute.
Oh my God, thank you, Jerry.
Hold on, let me darken my screen a little bit. She's so freaking cute, man. Let's see, hold on.
Oh my God, thank you, Jerry.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. So cute. Congrats, LOL. Cabron. Sharon B. Trolling should be your new name. The LOL in their name looks like someone throwing up their hands. Yes. Sharon is a bot, he says. No doubt, VHL. All right. Looks like LOL Cabron's not here either, which is crazy. All right. So we'll try to find them if we can. All right, let's spin it again. 109. Ain't she? Sure. Listen to you as playing with our homemade magic snow. You can hear you in the background. Nice. Roller Satoshi. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm going to do a lot of my breaks with Charlie Kirk videos, man. I got a few of them queued up. Oh, Solar's here. Congratulations. I think this is your second or third win. Jordan, Jerry, y'all should both make your commercials little clips you accumulate of your favorite Charlie debate clips. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was just talking about. Congratulations. Good game, Solar. Bitcoin is immutable. Jor is not, Sharon says. Wow. Yo, yes. You're the winner. 110. Let's see it. Looks like Emily to me. No, Emily's not leaving. It's crazy because I know it's late on the West Coast, on the East Coast. That's a good idea, Solar. Love freaking Charlie, man. Love him, love him, love him. Just so, I mean, common sense, man. You know what I mean? That's 1 to 10. Okay, let's do a 111. Let's get it. Giving out a lot of sets today, guys. Looks like Casey to me. Boom. Casey Love. I'm going to change your name on here, Casey Love. Because I got you as something else. And it's going to confuse the hell out of me. Got you. Congrats, Casey. Good game, Casey. Thanks, no doubt. Yay, me. We love him here, too. We watch all his debate kids, especially. Yes. Every red candle is a Black Friday sale for your sovereignty. Absolutely. Man, that Sharon B has such a problem with Jor. What's up with that? LOL, right? Hey, guys, I'm back for a little bit longer. Okay, Neil, got you. Thanks for coming back in, sir. Neil, the one. Let's see my man Charlie. The late great Charlie.
But that was hired by the state.
What was George Floyd's cause of death?
Asphyxiation.
Actually, the original medical report by the Hennepin County Examiner said that it was a drug overdose. Did you know that?
But that was hired by the state. An independent coroner reported
It's
that it was
interesting.
asphyxiation.
You might be right, but if you guys love truth, you should go and dive into the Derek Chauvin court documents. There's a lot more to the George Floyd situation than anyone ever told you. It really is. And it's a great video. And I'm not even, you might be right, but there's so much more to that circumstance of George Floyd that was overdosing on drugs, right? That also, did you know that what Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd was actually in the police manual training? It was completely justified and was trained by his superiors to do. Now, let me ask you a question. How many unarmed Black people, on average, are killed by police a year?
Well, I'd have to look up that statistic.
Guess.
Probably over 50%.
Yeah, it's 15 people a year. 15. And that's not my number. That's the Washington Post that came up with it and did a national crime survey. And they even were generous and they said unarmed, meaning you had a weapon nearby or you had a knife that you dropped. So you're talking about police brutality for an incident that happens 15 times a year in a country of 350 million people.
Well, how come, my question to you then, how come you see it so often on social media?
Because that's a good question, Andrew, because you're being propagandized. You're being brainwashed is the name of this tour. And I'm here to tell you that you see it, so you actually don't see it as often as you think. This is emotional targeted videoing to have you think that something exists when it doesn't. We look at the data like, oh, it's 15 times a year, 15 times a year, and it's even lower than that. But do you know what does happen a lot every single year? Is that there's over 100,000 drug overdoses every single year. We don't talk about that. We should. We should. I totally agree, right? But yeah, we have this whole thing about police brutality, and no one can ever give me examples where there's too many police, and that's okay. I'm not just picking on you. Just in general, it's easy to get caught up in the abstractions. It's easy to get caught up in the parade and in all the bedlam. But when you dive into it, you realize that it's all brainwashing and it's propaganda.
I guess what I would say in response to that is when you do your own independent research, you can find data to skew in any direction you want it to.
But it's the Washington Post. I'm not just making this stuff up. This is the left. I'm using left-wing sources here. This is not Breitbart.com or Gateway Pundit or the Charlie Kirk Show or Daily Wire, right? This is the left-wing sources, and I'm not cherry picking because you said police brutality. So then I pinpoint, okay, how many black people are then killed unarmed by police every year? Boom, that's the number. In a population, by the way, where there's tens of millions of black Americans, it's an insignificant sum. And you know that more kids are killed in urban violence going to school or walking to the playground than blacks are killed by police? Yet we don't talk about that as much. The question then is why? Is that here's my belief, is that Black America is so abused by the current mainstream media, it's abused by the Democrat Party, and they don't want Black Americans to think freely or independently, that they have been used as pawns by the Democrat Party for the last 60 years. That's exactly what is happening right now, and I pray people are starting to wake up. A final thought, Andrew?
I guess I don't really have anything.
That's okay. I encourage you to do this. Fact check me later. Find out what the unsolved murder rate is in Chicago. See if Charlie Kirk was right. Look at the Washington Post crime database and find out, was it really 15 unarmed blacks that were killed by police year by year? Sometimes as low as 8, sometimes it's 20, so the average is about 15, okay? Go and look at The Biggest Lie Ever Told, the George Floyd documentary. Go look at the original Hennepin County medical. Don't just take my word for it. Do that research. And in that research, if you're like, oh, dang, I was lied, use that as what we call taking the red pill. And you'll see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
100%.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Can I shake your hand?
Yeah, God bless, man. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Give it up for Andrew. That's not easy to do.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why they wanted to get rid of him. You know what I mean? Oh, man. So sad what happened to that man. So freaking sad. So sad. All right, we're going to get into a video today. Tyler Robinson, new footage shows mystery vehicle and cell phone usage. This was a fascinating video. So we're going to check this out. This is him on the way to the shooting, quote unquote. So let's check it out.
Some previously unreleased footage of suspect Tyler Robinson was released by...
Sorry, let me get caught up with the comments. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Man, that's Sharon. Boom. Hey, Jerry, check signal regarding your favorite bartender. Charlie and MLK. Okay. Talking about AOC. Okay. Oh yeah, I like this guy.
Which are now being twisted to justify men and women's sports or
Yep. Okay, we'll check that out. I'll put it on my page and we'll check it out. Thank you, Sin. I appreciate you, bro. Congrats, Casey. Thanks, Jared. No doubt. Thanks. Woohoo! Yay! He's so compassionate. This is what we lost. Yeah, exactly. But again, we're all Charlie, guys. This is what it's about. Open debate. We can learn from Charlie. Work it out like the ancient Greeks. Yes, he was the human equivalent of don't trust, verify. I was just about to say that. Absolutely. Don't trust me. Verify it. Lauren, Jor is my spirit animal. I have to behave and be serious on Jor's other channels. Only play for fun here on Jerry's channel. Yes, I know, Cher. All in fun. Enjoy seeing it. Jerry, notice lots of people that hate on Charlie never watched him on YouTube or a video of him debating. Exactly. Never have, man.
Cut Keeler on YouTube. Now, this showed a suspect heading in the direction of the Utah University campus around 11:44 a.m. In this video, the suspect is seen stopping at an intersection when a mysterious vehicle appears to pull alongside. So in this video, I want to break down what I see personally and also some interesting details that may have been missed. Take a look at the following. Okay, so let's start this footage at normal speed here. 1x speed. We'll drop it down to 0.25 when there's an interesting talking point here. But here we can see the suspect coming into frame. We see him passing the first white vehicle. Now, he's walking downhill, so I'd imagine that the limp that you see maybe 5 or 6 minutes later as he turns the bend, it's a little bit easier to walk downhill, so the limp isn't as evident when we see this part of the video. However, it does seem to reappear as we move further forward. But take a look here. Now, the right leg, it seems that he's dragging his right leg ever so slightly. Let's drop this down to 0.25. And just keep your eyes on the right leg as the car passes. It seems that he's just dragging the right leg. It's not going as far forward as it would normally. It's a little bit unnatural, shall we say. Now, it's this point here that I wish to draw people's attention to. To me, this looks like he's receiving a phone call. Now, again, you have to be so careful with footage like this. It's such poor quality. It's very, very grainy. It's easy to see something that simply isn't there. But take a look at this. In my opinion, he's walking along here. He looks down, looks at his phone, takes a phone call. Now, I can't tell if it's his left or his right hand, but to me, it's fairly evident that as he's walking along, the head goes down, the phone comes out, he's taking a phone call. Again, watch again. Walking along, face goes down, looks at his phone, takes a phone call, phone goes back in the pocket. So, as I say, at this stage, the limp isn't really that evident, is it? It's not really that clear. So he's walking along and he stops at the end of this road here. He stops at the intersection. Now, just before that, I believe he gets out his phone again. Now, of course, this could be completely innocent. He could be checking where he's going, checking the time. He could be checking absolutely anything. But it's interesting that the phone seems to make a reappearance. You see here, phone coming out of the pocket right there. Looks at the phone, stops at the intersection. Now, at this point, this mysterious vehicle comes along. It seems to pull into the right, slows right down by where the suspect is stood, goes past the suspect, and you can tell he's pulled into the right because he has to come out to the left to avoid this dark car that's ahead of him. You can see him turning left here, coming back out onto the road. And of course, again, the phone, the car, the mysterious car, it could all be just a mere coincidence. But it's interesting, isn't it, that this guy is seemingly walking towards the university campus. There's this quick check of the phone right here. Quick phone call, maybe. Phone goes back in the pocket. Walks past the blue car. Gets down towards the intersection. Checks the phone again. Right here, you see the phone coming out right here. Phone comes out of the pocket, checks the phone, stops at the intersection. At this point, we have the car pulling into the right-hand side alongside the suspect. Seems to slow right down and then moves off to the left, out back onto the road and past the dark vehicle. Now, this is where the limp, interestingly enough, seems to reappear. Now, again, of course, he's walking downhill. It could be a lot easier to walk downhill. It could, it may not impact him as much than walking on the flat. Now, I think that when he gets to the bottom here, it sort of levels out a little bit. So the limp may now become a little bit more apparent, which we do actually see. Now, this guy stays here behind this pole for a matter of seconds. As you can see there, that car drives off. Now, obviously, it's so grainy, it's hard to tell. But is he looking down at his phone there, checking something, checking where he is maybe, checking the time? I've got to get there. I've got to make a move. I've got to get there quickly. I've got to make sure I time this correctly. Is he receiving some sort of message? Is he checking something? I don't know. So he stays there, as I say, for a few seconds and then decides to continue onwards. Let's put this back to normal speed. There we go. Phone goes back in the pocket and then off he goes. And check the limp now. Look at that. I mean, that's completely different. That's completely different to what we saw just a matter of moments ago. Look, just barely noticeable there, walking downhill. But as soon as he reaches the flat, that's when the trouble starts. And obviously, this is literally just around the corner from that very famous TMZ footage where he's seen literally staggering across the road as if he's had 10 pints of Stella. It's in complete contrast to what we see just a few minutes ago when he's walking downhill. He doesn't seem to be struggling here at all. Maybe he's got the odd little bit of a limp, but it's not really that obvious. However, when he reaches the flat, that's when the problems begin. But for me, as I say, we don't really know, do we, about this vehicle? Is there some connection here? Was he dropping something off, picking something up, passing on some sort of message? And why is he using his phone back here?
Was that a coincidence that truck stopped like that? It could have been. I don't know though, man. Because he stopped at the same time as the truck stopped. I don't know. What do you guys think?
When you play this in normal speed, it's incredibly quick. Let's just take it back here. So it goes past the second car. Looks at the phone now. Phone back down into the pocket. Phone into the pocket, carries on. Now, is that him adjusting the straps on his backpack? Am I imagining that? I don't know. To me, especially when you slow it down, it really does seem that he's quickly looking down at the phone. So he's walking normally here. Pulls the phone out, looks at the phone, up to the head, back in the pocket. And as I say, when you play it at normal speed, it's, it's so quick. It's just, instantaneous, like straight up in the pocket. That's it. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Is that a phone call? Is that just something else? Is he just, as I say, adjusting his strap on his backpack, putting something in his pocket? To me, when you take a close look at it, it really does look like that he's pulled the phone out. He looks at the phone, answers the phone, then puts it back in his pocket.
I don't know if he stopped long enough to ask for directions, though, Lauren. So I wouldn't consider that one. Because if they would stop for like 10 seconds maybe, but he stopped so quick, you know what I mean?
So looks at the phone, up to the ear, back in the pocket. Now, to me, that that leads to further questions, doesn't it? Who's calling him? Why are they calling him? Is he making a call himself? Is he letting someone know where he is? And it all seems to, you can't really say it's connected, can you? But it's just a bit of a coincidence that after this point, the phone then comes out again at the bottom here, right by the intersection. At this stage, right here, he waits. The car comes along, slows right down, and then drives off. He stays there for a matter of, 10, 15 seconds. The limp starts to reappear, and off he goes. Now remember, as he makes his way further down this road, he then takes a left towards the university campus car park, where he's then caught on the following footage, on the following CCTVs. The limp is a lot more exaggerated at this point, and he's just about to enter the university campus. Now, in regard to the vehicle, I did a little bit of research, and I don't think I've quite hit the nail in terms of finding out exactly what this vehicle is. The closest that I could come up with is a GMC Yukon XL Denali. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. Probably haven't. But a GMC Yukon XL Denali. But I've shown it to some people, and they're saying, no, it's not quite right. It's not the same vehicle. If anyone stateside knows what vehicle this is or recognizes this vehicle, do let me know in the comment section below.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy, but now this is the final video we're going to watch. I got a couple things to report with you, but I want to let you guys hear Candace Owens in her own words talk about that one video where they showed the guy on the roof. Remember, they actually showed it, and the two kids were recording it from the side. This is her situation with that. Take a look.
I then decided to try to track down the origin of a video that actually no press has been done on. It was the video of I assumed it was a student, and I think, we shouldn't make assumptions, who recorded the shooter on the roof. Remember, that started going viral. You remember the footage, and they're like, and there's a guy that's kind of speaking in the background. We can show you that footage right now. Let's take a look at that footage that we're referring to.
Can run it up. Yeah. You think he'd already be in place? You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying? Sure. He just ran from over, where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in. And now he's right there. Just saying.
Okay. So this footage proved very difficult to track down. And what I mean by that is it was very simple for me to find the account that published the video and made the video viral. And when I reached out to that individual, they were immediately responsive. And I said, hey, where'd you get this footage from? And the individual said to me, a friend of a friend's family member sent it. So I'm like, okay, you're telling me the chain is already twice removed. I said, do you know who took the video? And he said, no, I don't know who took the video. And when I asked the person who sent it to me to tell me who did, because I have all of these journalists, including yourself, reaching out to me, trying to get to the bottom of it, he just stopped answering me. I said, so your friend who sent you this video just stops answering you. And he then sends me a screenshot of a conversation that they're having on an app that I don't recognize, right? So we are prodding that, and he has been responsive, so I'm sure he'll tell me what app this is. And sure enough, the person says, well, there were 2 people actually who took that footage, which obviously isn't possible, but there are 2 people that were involved in taking that footage, and he sends him 2 numbers. And those 2 numbers were both Chicago based. And when I looked up who, whose numbers those were, it looked to me like that was just kind of leading to nowhere. Like, why are these 2 Chicago-based numbers? It was very weird and very sketchy. So then I have a guy who's on the ground in Utah, and I asked him, a student, to start looking around, fishing around, and seeing if he could figure out who took that photo. Again, operating under the assumption that this must have been a student that was walking by Pelosi Center. And he comes back and he says, I have a number of an individual. This is allegedly the person who took the footage. And I said, do you know that person? Is this a UVU student? He said, no. And I said, well, where'd you get this number from? And he says, well, on the day, there was a guy named Aaron who was walking around and was checking on people. And Aaron is the one that gave me this number. I don't know Aaron even, but like, he's the person that gave it to me. So then I said, can I have Aaron's number? He gives me Aaron's number. And Aaron also has a Chicago number. So I'm getting from somebody on the ground, and I'm getting from this person on Twitter that all of these Chicago numbers are involved, and that's not making sense to me. And I then tried to text that number of the person who allegedly shot the footage. We didn't get a response until today. We finally got a response from that person. I hop on the phone with him. He explains that it wasn't just him. There was one other person who he was walking with who saw this person run across. Neither of them are students of UVU. One of them said he was a student at BYU, which is Brigham Young University. And he's like, well, I didn't take the footage, but my friend took the footage. And his friend does not have a Chicago-based number. So I am confused. And we asked if he'd be willing to send us the footage and to get us on the phone with the person who actually took the footage. I had a conversation with that individual after all this running around, hence the reason these episodes take so long to put together, because you're calling people, you're waiting for responses. And what he said to me completely betrays the narrative of what the FBI has put out. I am working to quadruple confirm exactly who this individual is, but he was a very much, and maybe this is a poor way of saying it, a straight shooter, said, yes, I have a training. I don't want to give too many identifying details here, but this person himself has a lot of experience with guns and knows guns and, helps to train people in that sort of a capacity, and said that they observed that individual, the FBI saying that the shooter dropped onto the roof at 12:15 didn't make sense to him. He said earliest it was 12:22 that the individual ran across, set up, took the shot. And I said, well, you must have been there, because he then sends me I wanted to see all of the metadata of when he took that footage. And the metadata begins at 12:22 and goes into 12:23, the very minute that Charlie gets shot. And he says, yeah, I saw the shots. I had just stopped recording about 20 seconds before the shot rang out. And he said that he told them a description of what the shooter looked like. And it was not the description that the entire world received less than 24 hours later of this person, Tyler Robinson, wearing jeans. I said, was he wearing jeans? He said, no. Actually, this person was dressed in tactical gear and he was wearing a face mask. And he said, according to him, and like I said, he has a lot of experience with guns, that this person looked to him like a foreign agent. I don't know if he's wearing all black, how he got that, but he said he was very certain that this person was skilled, knew exactly what he was doing, and was highly trained, like a highly trained assassin, so to speak. Okay. He then says something else. As soon as George Zinn got arrested and that started circulating, he ran to someone on campus and said, this is the wrong person. I observed this person with my eyes. You have the complete wrong description. The person you're looking for is wearing tactical gear and is obviously young, because I watched him sprint back after taking the shot. I saw this with my own 2 eyes. And for whatever reason, that never made its way out that we can see of a description of a person wearing tactical gear. We're kind of left with this idea that he was wearing the now infamous veterans shirt with the American flag on it and some jeans. So he also said something that we had not heard, which is that he knows guns, and the gun that the FBI found was not the gun that he saw, that the gun that he saw was smaller. And
wow, this is the first time I heard any of this. The gun wasn't the gun. The guy wasn't the guy. Dressed different and everything else. This is big news, man. If this is true.
And I'm going to read you directly a text message that he sent me, again, protecting his identity. He said, watching the video of the impact, hearing the sharp crack instead of a big hunting rifle's boom, and seeing what looked like a shorter rifle platform, albeit with the absence of the shape of a standard 30-round magazine, the assassin may have used a 10 or 20-round magazine, only expecting to shoot once or twice. I would guess that he was shot with a Hornady V Max or similar lightweight 223 bullet designed for very rapid expansion. Of course, I don't have access to any autopsy reports like you might, but if they found small shards of copper rather than one large copper-coated lead slug, that's the gun and bullet I would expect was used.
Wow. Well, we know it wasn't a 30-06 because the 30-06 would have destroyed him. So that makes sense to me. That makes more sense to me.
So I wanted to share that because I know that a part of this entire thing was our upset at kind of being taken for a ride by the FBI. It makes no sense to me that they wouldn't share those details immediately while this manhunt was taking place. We got every other name and basically every other description, and we're told nothing like what this person who says that he was an eyewitness, he was the eyewitness to this, and that he went right into all this information. Why wouldn't you share the eyewitness report that you received that completely counters the narrative? And I would say, again, assuming this guy's story checks out, and it seems to me that it did, and he sent us the data, and we looked at the metadata that he was the person who took that video, it doesn't make sense to me. It literally makes no sense to me that they would obfuscate these details when they're speaking to the public. So yeah, like I said, we are exploring every lead here, and I just found that to be quite stunning. I don't know what to make of all of this. I guess what we make every single episode is the fact that they're just lying to us about everything, about literally everything. Anyways, you guys, I want to get to...
Preach. I thought that was fascinating. Very fascinating. Before we go, I got a couple things to tell you. That's crazy, first of all. Trump declares Antifa a terrorist group, which means you two must ban them. Okay? Then we had the UN meeting, and then Minnesota's being taken over, looks like by Somalian people. Keith Olbermann threatened Scott Jennings, saying, "You're next." And then Kamala Harris obviously is doing her little book tour, and she went on MSDNC or MSBS now and went on there talking about Pete taking up the Buttigieg or Pete Buttigieg, why she didn't hire him. I mean, pick him as a VP. She didn't say, "Oh, I didn't pick him because he wasn't gay." Then she says, "I picked him because he was gay." She said, I did not pick him because he was gay." And then she went on to say she picked him because he was gay. So crazy times we're living in, guys. Crazy times. All right, let's do a spin. Block 112, then we'll do the all or nothing game. Thank you, guys. Sorry about the long show. I just had a couple things I had to tell you guys. Quinn, about to cook me some dinner. Trying to bring you guys all the latest stuff that I've heard, you know what I mean, up to this point. Quinn, the winner, if you're here, congratulations. Thank you so much. Last spin of the blocks today. Woohoo. Good job, Quinn. Congrats. All right. Time for the all or nothing game, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you very much. Congrats. Thank you so much, no doubt. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Quinn. Yes. Gang, gang, Quinn. Congratulations. Yep. All right, so let's do this. Start from the top. 1,000. We're going to have 5 winners for the all or nothing game. I'm going to call it a night. Then your boy's going to eat some dinner. I'm going to cook me some dinner. Crazy. We're living on a crazy timeline right now, man. Absolutely insane what's going on. You know? Freaking poor Charlie, man. But his death will not be in vain, that's for sure. All right, the all or nothing game, guys. Yay, Quinn. Good game, Quinn. Absolutely, Corey. Thank you, fam, so much, no doubt. Also, I hear a rumor that the Jerry Loves Freedom show is above 2,500 subs again. Yes, that's true. For now. For now, it is. That's a rumor, but you know how they are with that number, man. They don't like that number. So the rumors are true for now. All or nothing game. Player one, you're up. We got a lot of people not here on the wheel. They didn't tell us they're leaving. Oh, somebody wants 1,000 right off the bat. Look at that. 1,000. Player one. Let's do it. Player one gets 1,000. Looks like holler to me. Looks like holler to me. Well, holler, we're going to take your advice.
Nobody in your life has showed you active disdain, you're not stacking hard enough. If you are still invited to a family Thanksgiving, you're not stacking hard enough. If you're made fun of for brown bagging your lunch, you're not stacking hard enough. If your car is younger than Bitcoin, you're not stacking hard enough. If somebody hasn't called you a retard in your life, you're not stacking hard enough. You're just not stacking hard enough.
Well, she is. She is definitely stacking hard enough. Congratulations. If your car is younger than Bitcoin, you're not stacking hard enough. I'm not stacking hard enough. Holler, congratulations, honey. I know, bro. I'm gonna be going to Thanksgiving. Yes. All right, Holler, congratulations, honey. Player one. Player two, what's up? Another 1,000. Wow. Player two gets 1,000 as well. Congrats. Let's see who's gonna be player two. I hope all 5 of you get it, honestly. That'd be so dope. We've never had that before. Looks like finger picked. I was going food shopping tomorrow. I guess I won't now. Thanks, Alan. No doubt. Let's go 1K. Lucky spins today. Yes, finger picked. You got 1,000 sats, brother. Boom. 2 in a row. I don't think we've ever had that before. Good game, finger. Her your congrats, finger. Nice finger picked. Good game, finger picked. I'll take them. All right. Finger picked. Back-to-back 1,000s. Nice, guys. Okay, so congratulations. Good game, holler and finger. Yes. Finger pick, congrats. Player 3, can you do it too? Let's see. I think you can. Congratulations, VHF. VHF. Congratulations. Congrats, VHF. VHF, good game. Yep, that's a good game. Keith Oberon threatens Scott Jennings. What a piece of crap, man. What a piece of crap. VHF, where you at, brother? Respin. That's what I'm thinking about doing. But let me see. I think he lost too many IQ points. After that video to respond. That's what he said. LOL. VHF's always got something to say. VHF. All right, I'm going to take him off. I'm going to take him off. Make sure first. Let's do it again. Player 3. Cold water at the blinker is so heavenly. Yes. Vic, LOL. Sonny. Did Sonny leave? I think Sonny left. Yeah, Sonny left. Sonny left. My bad, guys. He did leave. Player 3. Angel. Sonny is not here yet. I remember that. Forgot to take him off the wheel. My bad, guys. Angel, congrats. Congratulations, Angel. Angel, woohoo, Angel. Congratulations. Yeah. That's right. Hell yeah, I will. Yes. So what you want to do, Angel? You want to keep those or you want to go for 1,000? Keep. Okay. 3 winners. No doubt, brother. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, young man. Player 4, it's on you. Anonymous. Anonymous.
Yeah, that's my boy. Sorry, guys.
Spin that shit. Congrats, Anonymous. Anonymous, yeah, what you want to do, brother? You're the winner. What you want to do, sir? You want to spin it or you want to keep it? Spin that thing. Yes, they are. They didn't even respond to the last one when they got 1,000, so they might have left. I don't know. I see him in the chat though. Congratulations. Somebody tell them that they won. They might have started doing something else. I don't know. Yeah, Holler won 1,000. They didn't even say anything. Oh, there they are. Here, okay. What you want to do with it, brother? You got 100 sats. What's behind? No doubt. Here, switch monitors. All right. Anonymous won 100 sats. Y'all want to spin that thing or you want to keep it? Spin that thing, she says. All right. All right, let's do it. Maggie's not here. I know Maggie's sleeping. She ain't here. Let's do it again. Megan never stays up this late. Well, BTC Backpacker is here. Not Anonymous, LOL. Emily, you got 200. You're player 5. You want to keep it or you want to spin it, Emily? Sorry, was out for a bit, but we back. Got you, brother. Player 5, Emily, got 200 sats. Emily, this is one way to clean up the list, Jerry. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations, Emily. Woohoo, Emily. Gang, gang, Emily. Congrats. Keep, Jerry, no doubt. All right. There we have it, guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate you very much. You guys know what time it is, man. We're here to change the world. We really are. And wow, that's a nice thing. And you know what we're here for. I know what Sharon's going to say. F that clock. But it's all good. The best money in the world. Thank you, Jerry. No doubt. We are all here educational purposes. Yes. Gang, gang. Kids are sad. We have to go to bed. Oh, it's okay. Great stream today, Jerry. It was a good balance today. Politics and Bitcoin. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that, bro. Very much. And thank you guys all for those sats, man. 17 coming in. Thank you. Thank you for tricking me today. And the love. 17 came in. Does that mean 76 is? Yep, 76. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Good night, everyone. I got to go back to sleep. No doubt, guys. Well, listen, like I said, we're all Charlie. We're all Satoshi. And we're here to fight evil. We're the good side and they're the evil side. And we cannot let them divide and conquer us. Right? We must find and recruit as many good soldiers as we can and forgive the bad ones. I know that's tough to do, but we got to do it. And, It just is what it is, man. And our base layer of our money is simple. It's scarce, it's uninflatable, portable, durable, international, fungible, divisible, verifiable in supplies, decentralized, and unconfiscatable. This money, in other words, is uncontrollable and, just like us, unstoppable. It will break this system, pay off the national debt, stop inflation, and your family and friends will be building statues of you if you stack it today, and it's on sale today. And if I had to take a guess, I'm pretty sure you guys already know what that is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.